up, and welcome back to the Section 10 Podcast, episode 521, presented by Underdog Fantasy. It is the home of your soon-to-be 2025 World Series champion, Boston Red Sox. My name is Jared Carrabis, and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Coley Mick, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Tyler Milliken, and he killed his dog Bullet, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, realest guys in the room. Steve, how you do it?
Ooh, what up, Section 10 in the building.
In the mother fucking building. Presented by Blue Moon.
Suck one.
Still not produced by Jake Yazzie. He is he's battling right now. I believe he has food poisoning.
Mm-hmm. So he returned from Florida and then was shitting
I don't know
water?
where he is geographically, T. I don't know.
Florida has some dangerous water if you drink it.
I'm not trying to dox the kid.
Not trying to dox him.
Hit me up, Jake.
Not trying to dox what ocean he's on. Couldn't tell you. Not trying to ocean dox the guy. That would be insane.
No, sir.
You know what else would be insane? You know what else would be insane, T?
Me? You're asking me or are you asking everybody?
Yeah. Just like something that would be fucking crazy to do. You know?
Yeah.
Well, what would that be? Like, well, what comes to mind? Like, what's something that you could do that would be like, damn, T, that's crazy. Why'd you do? I can't believe you did that. You know better than that, T. What would that be? What do you think?
Well, we recently had the talk about knowing things in the scoop shop, right? And then aggregating a
just
report.
keep adding to the list. There's a bunch of shit that you've done that just, I mean, you're gonna get a spanking today. You're a bad boy.
Oh, you know what? I actually
you're a
will
bad
own up.
boy.
Can I speak on it?
Those cheeks are gonna be they're gonna be redder than this fucking sweatshirt.
Hey,
they're gonna be. Yeah.
Everyone needs to be spanked sometimes. Sometimes it tells you, they love you. But I'll add on. There was a moment. Whoa, wait. You're not going to suspend me. You never had your parents like bend you over when you were young, and when they're giving it to you, they kind of tell you like,
No.
I wish I had a whistle. I wish I had
The rape whistle.
I just blow that whistle, get him to stop right then and there. Yeah, I couldn't let him go any further. I didn't know where he was going to go. He's almost at his 200 career suspension.
He's not far off. When your parents bend you over and start doing stuff.
Yeah, like getting your ass slapped to feel some love, and your parents and they bend you.
You're making it weird. It's not weird.
You made it weird. Bend you over?
You made it weird.
My dad would put me on his, thigh.
T.
Let me speak about my dead father. Let me cook for a second.
No,
please. He's gone. He can't complain.
I can't have this.
He's dead.
I can't have this.
He said he hit me because he loved me.
Well, listen. All right, let's talk about it. Not that. Not that. We'll talk about the atrocities that you've committed.
No better, hell bad.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not today.
I can own up to a mistake I made this past week.
All right, what do you think your mistakes were?
My biggest mistake of the week, I did do a show more tweet, which I have not done. I've been very good about staying away from those, but I was not in a position to record a video.
No, you haven't, but go ahead.
Excuse me? Steve?
Real quick, sorry, T, but we were talking about suspensions, and I have to mention this. I didn't notice that the suspensions account reset in 2025. I think we had talked about this before, but now T's not going to get to 200. I was kind of excited for 200.
No. It's season and career.
Okay, all right. So we'll add up career and then have something for the 200th overall.
Yeah.
Okay.
How close am I?
Pretty close.
I'm going to do the math real quick.
Thank you, Steve.
Close.
Like 196.
Well, you're really close. I think you're 2 off. Actually, now you're 1 off, considering you're already suspended from this show.
I'm going to be very good.
Your next suspension is 200.
Yeah, he's at 199, baby.
Jared, pick your spots carefully here. I'm not telling you what to do.
No. You
I'm
know
just
what?
talking with you.
Shut the fuck up.
Whoa! Is that 200?
That's 200. That's right. Because listen, the last time that this happened, I waited. His 100 suspension was when he said something bad about Winky, and then I suspended him for it. And he was like, "That's what you waited for? That's what you waited to give me my what?" So no, I'm not waiting around. No, you don't get to tell me what to do. You're suspended for what's that called? Insubordination.
This is like when Cora was in KC. He's not even arguing a point. He gets thrown out of the game. Are you kidding me?
You would tell me what to do. No one puts baby in the corner.
Good job, T.
Yes,
200.
sir.
Let's go, baby.
200,
Yeah, thank you.
You did show more tweets. You did 3-line tweets. I'm done talking about your Twitter. It sucks.
There was, I will say, a very
once
strong
again
crowd.
aggregated someone else's report that I reported a month prior on Section 10. What else? What else did you do? Oh, your constant glazing of TRISTON Casas on Twitter is nauseating. Like, I've said this before. There are the people that hate him for no reason. Like, you're in the camp of like, oh, he paints his nails and he's quirky. I don't like him. Those people suck. And then you have the people like Tyler Milliken that they're like, oh my God, he rolled out of bed today and took a shit. Isn't it great? Like, the people that overly obsess over him, those people suck too. I'm in the middle here where it's like, I don't want to trade him. I want him to play first base for the Red Sox. If he stays healthy, I think he could hit 36 home runs and drive in 98 runs and be a very productive player. Those are the normal people. Like on the Venn diagram, there's 3 groups of TRISTON Casas people. Tyler is in one of the worst groups. We don't have anyone on this podcast that's in the we don't like him because he's quirky. And then there's just, I think, where me, Coley, and Steve are, where it's like, yeah, he's a good baseball player. I think if he stays healthy, he can really help out the team. That's where that's where normal people are. But when you talk about the guy where it's like, oh my God, look at it. He took a swing in the batting cage. Did you see it? Who fucking cares?
I love that kind of content. I love to see what hitters are working on, especially the weird drills.
All right, then where's the Trevor Story batting cage content?
Oh, you want to get cooked? There's multiple Trevor Story offseason videos on my timeline.
Where's the Bobby Dalbec offseason content?
Yeah, I'm not posting that guy. He's trying to make the White Sox right now. Fact or opinion?
Well,
I will say, I can't wait for him not to make the roster. There will be a way he will find a way.
201, baby.
That's crazy. You know, like, now that he's not in the organization anymore, he can't hurt you. So you should just wish him well. Just be like, you know what? Now that he can't, have a negative impact on my team, my favorite baseball team, I wish him well. And that's what you should be saying. So that's what you should. Am I wrong about that? Am I wrong about that, Steve?
What's up? You should just wish him well because he's gone, because he's at the White Sox.
I
saved it. I saved it
with the devil there.
I saved it. But yeah, wish him well. He's with the White Sox. Honestly, want to talk Bobby now, or are we going to wait to talk Bob?
We're going to wait to talk Bob.
All right, we'll wait to talk Bob. I have some Bob thoughts. But yeah, just wish him well. Hope he has a good time with the other Sox.
Are we going to announce who the guest is for the...
Yeah, we should do that right now.
Bobby Dalbec. Bobby Dalbec.
I wish, dude. I wish it was him. It's not him. I'm not telling anyone who it is.
I find myself closer to Tyler now I'm not posting like every video of him like walking to Starbucks in the morning.
I'm trolling a little bit.
You're
not.
What was my tweet today? Was that not a troll tweet?
Aware enough to troll. Just be normal.
Yeah, come on.
No one here is saying you can't love TRISTON Casas, but you just take it to a whole nother level where it's like, we get it, dude.
I don't know what I've ever said that has been so dramatically in the other direction. In all honesty, I feel like I'm just trying to be sensible and normal when it comes to talking about him, and not framing him as this clubhouse cancer and this guy that Alex Cora despises and all these different kind of things. I'm just talking that I see the talent and I'm willing to go and acknowledge, hey, he had a bad first month in 2023.
Every day in January.
I tweet about the Red Sox all day, every day.
Yeah, it's the right time, because there are people who think he's like a problem and want him gone. Like, as someone who's still, and Steve will tell you, brings up the Mookie Betts trade too much. Like, you have to yell at the idiots louder than they're yelling. So that's where I agree with him like that. He doesn't need to go to the extent he's going, but I'm fine with him being like, hey, assholes, if you're going to trade this guy, don't attach a bad contract.
Correct.
Like, that's
Correct.
There were plenty of people who were like, please do that. Get rid of both of them.
There's people who are telling you, hey, Nolan Arenado at 34 years old, you take Casas' bat, it's okay, trade him. Nolan Arenado in the middle of the lineup with his defense, you'll be fine. No problem.
I'm not one
in
of
the
those
world.
guys either.
There are a lot of people pushing that.
I went on a 7-tweet rant this morning.
Yeah, too much.
Nope. They were all bangers, actually. They outperformed every tweet that you sent today.
That's nice.
I just was ranting about my Red Sox thoughts. And one of them was about Nolan Arenado. And I was just like, and you know what? And here's another thing. The thing about Nolan Arenado, people are talking about this dude like he's 75 years old. Like he's still a very athletic, fully capable Major League Baseball player. He's a better defender than pretty much most of what you got. Your infield defense sucks. And he's a competitor. Like he walks into the clubhouse and instantly makes the team better. What's the issue? And it looked like, or it seemed to me, there were numerous Red Sox fans that thought or were under the impression that if Nolan Arenado is walking through that door, that Triston Casas is walking out. And to me, they're not mutually exclusive. Why? Like I think that there is a world where, hypothetically, I think there is a universe where the Red Sox do trade for Nolan Arenado and they do trade Triston Casas. Are they the result of each other? I don't believe so. I think the Red Sox are just trying to trade Casas for pitching. That's been the plan all along. They need a right-handed bat. They need to upgrade their defense. I think, yes, like, is there a scenario where, like, Arenado comes in and Casas goes out? Yes. But do I believe that Casas has to go out for Nolan to come in? No, I don't think they're related. But certainly both trades are on the table. Like, but they've been trying to trade Casas without the possibility of knowing that Nolan was coming here all along. Like they tried to we talked about it already. Coley mentioned they tried to stick him with Yoshida to get rid of his deal. They tried to flip him in a deal for Luis Castillo. So like, this is all without Nolan Arenado. This is just the Red Sox saying, we're not, what are we talking about? Shopping Casas? No. But like, they've tried to trade him multiple times this offseason alone.
Well, the reason people are attaching Casas to this conversation is because all the reports that have come out over the last 3 days have said it's the contingency plan, how this all plays out. Yes, Casas is going to have to be moving. Devers would move over to first base. Sean McAdam had on Fenway Rundown, Devers does not want a DH. He would not be into that idea. So like these pieces have to all fit together.
It's not his call.
DH. I wish
matter, dude.
If we're talking about what we've been seeing in the mentions, the thing that pops up the most that drives me nuts is, Rafael Devers is not going to DH. Get over it. He is. He's going to DH. So it's not even
hard. See that he's
going to play first base, which is the problem for a lot of people.
But the DH, I'm still on the DH thing because it's like everyone wants to move him to first or maybe keep him at third. Like, no, Rafael Devers at some point is going to be your DH. If that's sooner rather than later, that improves your team. So like, we got to just get there as a fan base and not just assume that he's going to shoot it down or the agent's going to shoot it down or like the team doesn't talk to him.
It's clearly an issue. It's going to happen. It's clearly an issue if they're sitting here and talking with Bregman.
Your generation just wants to coddle everyone. At what point in time has there ever been a player where it's like, I'm the shortstop. I want to play shortstop. And it's like, well, okay, little
Derek
buddy.
Jeter.
Yeah,
like, we'll put you there. Like, not on the Red Sox.
No, but right now, the whole argument with the Alex Bregman conversation is to buy you a year because apparently there's some uncomfortableness with that conversation. And maybe once Bregman would get here, then everything sorts itself out. Some of those conversations get easier. But if you're willing to bring in Alex Bregman right now to accommodate things and play him at second base, clearly it's not as simple of an obstacle as people are making it out to be, especially when his agent is feeling the need to go out and speak on it. And I'll add, when you talk,
his agent is not the most popular dude with the Red Sox.
I'm just saying, everywhere we've heard, it's not that simple. I have yet to hear from anyone that it is that simple to move.
No, what Lou said is right. They can't commit to even looking at Bregman and be like, nope, he's going to play third. And then you don't get him. Then what do you look like? You look like a fucking asshole.
Yes.
I think it's one of those things, the second he signs, they're like, no, he's for sure playing third. But until that happens and it's not going to, then there's no reason to say he's going to come play third.
And
I think they've let things play out with Bregman for a year.
We've talked about this before, but there is absolutely a scenario, and I think it's the most probable scenario in which they sign Bregman. This would assume that they sign Bregman, which doesn't feel great right now, and put him to second base. Raffy gets dinged up. He goes to DH. Bregman goes to third. Like, doesn't that just makes logical sense? And then he's okay with it because now he's doing it, and Raffy can just be in that position and learn by existing as the DH that he's okay being a DH. Yet I still don't think that he's gonna have a problem with it. Have we heard Raffy say outside the agent? Has he said that he wouldn't do it? No.
We've just heard from local reporters that it would not be that simple.
But it's all from the same source. It's all from the same one thing that they heard from the agent. So it's not new information that they're gathering talking to Raffy.
I just think even in general, the fact that they'd be willing to bring Alex Bregman in to play second base to let this situation play out with Devers speaks to it. If it was that simple, it'd be like, all right, fuck off, Devers, go DH, go do whatever. But they still have to balance the Masataka Yoshida situation here as well.
The Yoshida thing's funny because the more I've thought about that, and Coley, I think you've alluded to this too. Like, you can just do whatever you want with Masataka Yoshida. I've been so stuck on, you got to move him because he's going to be in that DH slot. It's like you're paying him either way. I don't think a team's going to eat much of that contract, so you can just do whatever. And then if you want a player like Bregman, you figure it out. You're not going to not do that because Yoshida's on the team. I
just want to see the Red Sox be willing to do that because we've yet to see them be willing to attach a prospect just to say, hey, we'll put a prospect here. You take a little bit of the money and make life easier. Sure. If that becomes an option, cool. The last time we heard they were willing to let Triston Casas go along with him to get that contract fully off the books.
A prospect, yeah.
Or major league guy who's the middle of your order right now and your second best hitter.
Steve,
question for the boys, and I want to apologize for missing the last episode. I want to apologize. The internet sucked. I should have been here. I handed the DMs off to T. I got mixed reviews on how that went.
I cooked.
just want to get that. Out of the way.
You got mixed reviews on that?
On how it went from the folks. I haven't tuned in. I should check it out. But I wanted to.
I think you specifically tweeted that you weren't going to check it out.
I did. I wanted to get your opinions, you, Coley, and I think I already know where Tyler's at on this. But do you think that the Red Sox have actively shopped Triston Casas, or that they've just listened to offers?
They've actively shopped it. If they've included him in trade proposals.
Oh, I think stuff we don't know. They've actively shopped him, and I think he's been shopped to the Pirates, and that hasn't been fully reported. I think he's been shopped. You just have to look at what we know, which obviously we know things that we don't talk about, but what we know that's public is they've at least tried to trade him to Seattle, bare minimum. And if you want to change the wording on how that is, that's fine. But if you look at the entirety of Major League Baseball, Jared, I'm coming right to you, pal. When you look at the entirety of Major League Baseball, this offseason specifically, there's been a lot of first base movement, and it's been for dog shit. Jerry?
This thought just hit me. I'm trying to think if I should even say it.
It's a thought that hit you?
You can't. I mean, you might have to get suspended. You can't raise the hand and then not shoot.
Yeah, this is tough.
I'm setting the scene.
You're in a 24-second.
All right, walk through this thought with me, right? Walk through the thought with me.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to people around the league that haven't played with Casas, that in other organizations, you're like, oh yeah, Triston Casas, yeah. They'd be like, oh yeah, the weird, he's quirky, that dude. And if you're the Red Sox, you know what I was thinking? What if when the Netflix series comes out, that other teams are like, he is a little strange, and what if that hurts his trade value?
How much is he going to be in it?
A lot.
He's one of the main characters, right?
Is he? Because he wasn't around. Like, he was hurt, so he wasn't around that much.
He is around. Yeah.
Well, then they weren't around that much for a core of the season.
Also
Netflix.
They were gone for like a month.
Okay, but that would have been one of the months that he wasn't around. So,
but with all the chatter about Casas and how different of a cat is, you tell me these other teams don't know.
Yeah, it's going to take the dog for them to realize that. I doubt
know
that.
Who Triston Casas
I don't know. They're just going to have a closer look.
Guy. They know
they're going to have a closer look at it.
He was a top 30 prospect in the sport.
I understand that.
I think he's pretty well known within the game.
I'm just put me in the column of people who are shocked to see how teams have reacted to the opportunity to acquire Triston Casas. Just being like,
I think Coley nailed it. I think even if you want to flip over to Pete Alonso's market right now, No team wants to do more than 3 or 4 years. They're looking for a Prince Fielder contract. Good fucking luck with that. But I think that's why the Red Sox are where they are. Because if they were to, deal for Arenado and then trade Casas for young pitching, they realize they need another middle of the order bat. They'd probably hope Pete Alonso will take this either kind of bridge contract with opt-outs a la Matt Chapman a year ago, right? Like, I think that's the corresponding move there. But first baseman, people are down on them. They don't think they age well. They get to 30. Even Casas, say what you will, that kind of body type, I don't know what that looks like at 31 or 32.
Well, it's first baseman that can't play defense also.
Yeah, Pete Alonso.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm already seeing people be like, Vladdy's not going to age well. And it's like, he's not, he's 25. Let's just relax for a second. Just relax.
And he's not as big as people make him out to be.
No, he's trimmed down. He's trimmed down.
Slimmed down. Keep it slim.
I've been stuck in that zone of like understanding that, yes, of course, the Red Sox are going to listen to offers on Triston Casas, and Breslow at the start of the offseason said, no stone's going to be left unturned, all of that. And I think that's what they're actually doing. I just can't get to that. They're like really actively shopping him and genuinely intending, but like shopping with the intent to ship him out of here.
Yeah.
It does not feel like that to me at all, that's what's actually going on. I understand there's a lot of people within the organization that are not huge Triston Casas fans, but there's a scale where if you can be XYZ amount of talented, then we'll deal with some of the weird, quirky stuff. And I think that's probably how they're looking at it. All right, let's maybe not shop them. Let's listen. What can we get in return that's not even close to what we want? And then Breslow comes out and says, we're not shopping them. Like, that's not happening.
That's not the case. You know that they're...
I don't know that, dude. Like, how definitively have these... I don't know that. That they've been actively shopping with the intent to ship them out of here? I don't know that. No. Listening and actively shopping are way different.
Said, yes, he's gone.
Well, what's the package? Again, it's like if you're listening and you get a package that's exactly what you want, then I guess you would have been traded
for Wu and Miller and like they've.
But that's listening from what the Mariners are offering. That's not actively trying to ship them out of here.
Us.
Yeah, no,
everyone's listening. They're listening
to us. We're not listening to them. The Red Sox are calling the Mariners being like, what'll it take to get one of your guys? The Mariners are not calling us being like, what'll it take to get Casas?
I have a hard time thinking that they've been going into this offseason trying to get rid of Triston Casas. I just don't. I don't think that's been the goal. I mean, calling the Mariners obviously makes sense.
They're trying to get rid of him. There's a difference between
but that's what I'm.
He's one of the pieces they're willing to let go of.
There is a big difference between we're trying to get rid of this player and we've identified this player as the talent that we think is the most expendable that we can use as a chip to get pitching. That's what's happening. They're not like, oh, fuck this guy, get him out of here. They're not doing that.
I think that's how I'm reading it.
Me too.
I'm not reading it like that.
I haven't gotten there. That's basically what I'm saying. I haven't gotten there, that they're trying to just boot him out of here.
I think there's people in the organization that are putting pressure to do things like that. Without a doubt, when you look at the way he was handled at the end of last year, it was super weird. And if you're any other organization right now, you don't look at it weird that not only are the Red Sox coming to you and like, one of the first names out of their mouth is Triston Casas. You're going to sit there and say, what happened? What happened the last 6 months where you went from trying to extend him and doing all this different stuff? In 2023, when, he was the best hitter on the team, that's not an opinion. That's fact. He had the highest OPS plus. What happened during that? You were all happy when he dominated the second half. Last spring, you try to extend him. We're 10 months later, and now you're trying to force him into any trade conversation we're having here. What is it? Why don't you guys want him?
I don't think that's hard to explain, though, because if it were me, and should be, I would be like, well, I'm not trading our top 2 prospects, and I know you don't want nothing, so this is the middle ground. This is our number 3. I would rather keep Meyer than him. That's how I would say it. I don't think that's hard to explain.
I think teams would wonder how you go from a guy that you were working your ass off to extend.
Would you rather trade Roman Anthony or Triston Casas today?
That's if you look at the roster.
I think they're equal chips.
But if you look at the roster, to Cole's point, it makes sense why Casas would be a guy that comes up as opposed to some of these other dudes that you want here for a long time. But still, I can't get to the point where I think they've been like actively trying to get him out of here. But I think they've been listening very intently on what
there's a name that makes a lot more sense to me, and I know the manager disagrees, but Duran makes way more sense to trade than Casas.
Well, that's his leadership guy. That's the guy he's telling everyone to be like and follow.
Guys,
no, that's his thing though, right? Duran's the guy he'll go out and stick his neck out for.
Sure, but he's also closer to free agency and older and coming off of a season that no one expected him to ever have. That's why it would make more sense to shop him, but I understand why they aren't.
I think if you told Cora, a guy who's like win now and he's focused on today, and I think that's why you see the Alex Bregman love as well, telling him he's going to trade the guy who was the most valuable player on his team last year, he would jump off a bridge. I do think
guy who was most valuable 2 years ago, he wants to get rid of. So I don't know why he would jump off a bridge.
Yeah, I think Duran, he viewed in a little bit of a different light because of the leadoff stuff. But I think with Casas, when I'm those other teams, I'd sit there and say, well, who's fucking your second best bat in the middle of the order? Who? You lost Tyler O'Neill. Who is it?
That's a personal question.
No, but when you're asking why you're dealing a main piece of your team, it's like,
why would anyone need to know who's fucking the second hitter in the lineup?
See, that has nothing to do with baseball. We keep it baseball here.
Literally none of your business, dude.
But like, I would sit there and be like, you don't even have another bat to replace the guy. You don't have another first base prospect. You're going to go force Rafael Devers over there and see if he can figure it out on the go. That's your plan.
That's what every team's doing right now. Most teams don't care about first base right now. Agree with it or not, which I don't agree with it. I want a traditional DH. I want a traditional first baseman. I want a traditional closer. The rest of baseball is telling you, like, we don't really care about that shit anymore.
Well, I think there's a difference between, someone who's competent over there and can play the position, right? Like even Bryce Harper being moved over there turns into one of the best fielding first basemen in all of baseball. Rafael Devers is 6 feet and he's going to be extending, doing all these different things he's never done before. And that's what you're doing while you're trying to win the American League East this year. That's your plan.
We went to the ALCS with Kyle Schwarber there.
Yes. And it was a much different lineup. It was a completely different team.
You're just talking about being able to field the position.
Sure, 100%. But with Rafael Devers, right, you're throwing. That was for a playoff run. That was for a couple months. With Devers here, you're running that for a whole season and you're locked into it.
I'm not. Like, I'm not Devers to first guy.
But Jared, do the Red Sox believe he can do that?
Yes.
Okay, then. That's it. That's a conversation. It's not what we want with him at DH. They believe he can play first base.
Do the Red Sox believe he can DH? Is that the question?
No. Do they believe he could play first base?
Oh, I don't know.
I think are way different.
I think that they believe he can DH, and that's why he got the contract that he got in the first place. Do you think the Red Sox gave him over $300 million thinking he was going to be a third baseman through the life of that deal?
No, I don't. But the fact that they're open to him playing first base, I'm fine with him moving to DH. They're fine with him playing first base. That's what concerns me.
I don't know that that's the case. I think that that's lip service until it's like, oh, actually, we kind of, we need you to DH because, X, Y, and Z. Like you're easing him in. You're not just, instead of just saying we're moving you completely off of third base and now you're not even playing defense anymore. It's like, yeah, why don't we move you to the other side of the diamond? And then that slowly becomes DH. You don't sign Rafael Devers to the length of that contract with the money that they paid him unless you're comfortable making him a designated hitter at some point, which I feel like they probably knew was going to be sooner rather than later. That's the obvious thing to me. So why, if when they were negotiating with him, obviously you're having those conversations. You're like, hey, you're not going to be a third baseman for the life of this deal. You think he's going to be?
And he probably didn't want to. He probably doesn't want to be a third baseman for 11 years.
No.
The hell would that look like? He'd die out there. The way he gets dinged up like that. Come on.
I don't think it's as big of a deal as people are making it out to be. Like like he's going to go kicking and screaming to the DH spot. I don't see it. I don't think the convos happened.
I don't even know if that convo, at least in this offseason, has happened yet. Like we've talked about, because you don't have Bregman. You don't right now. He's the opening day third baseman, Rafael Devers. So I don't think that conversation has happened about moving him to DH because you don't have the luxury of being able to move the pieces around yet. So until you really get to that point, then maybe you have the conversation. It shouldn't be that hard to transition a guy from the infield to DH as it would the other way around. So it's kind of a moot point right now because you don't have Bregman, you don't have Arenado. Until that happens, then it becomes a conversation. But
so if they dealt for Arenado, you think right now he'd be the third baseman? They'd figure out something to do with Yoshida and Devers with DH?
Yeah, but why not though, right? Like, why wouldn't the Red Sox do that? Why is that?
That's the question I'm asking, and every reporter that has something on it tells you Casas needs to be moved in order for this to all work.
I still don't get why those are married together.
I think that's how the team
I agree. It's too much smoke. The plan's been floated out there since August. Like, we've been doing this for 4 fucking months. Yeah. It's the same idea, the same concept. Where is it coming from? I don't know.
It's not coming from the Underdog Fantasy app, Jared.
No, it sure isn't, Coley. Because football season's finally back. And it's here to stay until February. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog. Win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player stats like touchdowns, passing yards, and more. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head on over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code Jared. That's Jared. And Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Jared, to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer.
Wait, I have a thought. Thank you. I will say, especially with the new Red Sox front office, run prevention is a major portion of how they grade things, right? Defense is a major portion in terms of how they kind of want to build out this team. That does make me wonder, like, why you would look at first base as a position you can skip by, right? If we look at the last front office that was criticized so heavily for being in the other direction, this seems to be going down a similar path in that way. Because say what you will, you get Nolan Arenado at third base. It's just another question mark at first base.
And hey,
but you have the
I'm
question
done.
now, don't you, technically?
In terms of like just the defense being bad.
Doesn't
that
Casas
be like
grade out as a horrible defender?
He hasn't been great, but
Yeah.
I think he's better than that. I do. I think there's room for him to grow if he can just be consistent and be out there. And I think he could get close to average. The Red Sox thought he was going to be a Gold Glove first baseman. I'm not willing to go that far. I think he could at least be average. I think his stretches are something immediately you would miss. Someone who gets to a lot of bad throws. It's the fielding in terms of ground balls at him that really is the problem.
T, say what you will here, but I think if they care about defense, then they would not put Rafael Devers at first base.
That's what I'm saying. And that's where
what
I sit there, but I don't know.
No, I know. Yeah.
All I'm saying is every sign I've seen on, off the record, whatever you want to call it, points in another direction.
I don't believe I've been very consistent with this Stevie P guarantee.
It's my
I would
favorite
be
thing.
Stunned if Triston Casas gets traded. I know the Scoop Shop disagrees, but I just don't see it happening. I think he's your opening day first baseman. And even if both sides, clearly there's some friction between Triston Casas and the organization, multiple people within the organization. We know that. But again, this season goes on. He hits, to Jerry's point, 36 bombs, drives in 110, is one of your top power guys after you already just lost Tyler O'Neill. You still got to replace that. You'd be going backwards by taking Casas off the roster. Even if you disagree with this guy and a lot of the stuff that he does, he still has so much value to your team and has obviously not reached his ceiling yet, to the point where he can continue to prove his worth here. And then if you don't want him and he actually has a great season, then now it's so much easier to trade him next offseason.
That's simple. It's that simple.
And then
let
the
the
Vladdy
stock
talks
grow.
start.
If you want Vladdy, cool. Go pursue that path. You can flip Casas in a year.
We'll get there.
Bookmark.
But that's where you can kill his value again, is if you already sign another first baseman.
You mean
would
like an
deal him
off season from
first,
now,
right?
Coley?
Yeah, because teams know that you're desperate to move them.
Yeah, because
Sure.
you know you have three guys now in Devers. If you've already taken him off third, now you have three guys for 2 spots as opposed to 3 spots. So they shouldn't have handled him or Yoshida the way they did down the stretch last year. I think both could have probably been moved by now if they just let them play.
Yeah, Yoshida's value is destroyed. Like,
No,
I don't think we're getting to DFA City with Yoshida, but
Do you think anyone took the bait of our tweet?
It's the smartest comment section on the internet.
oh my God, yeah.
I'm just saying, teams wise, do you think it did the job?
I think they checked it out, yeah.
Okay.
I almost wonder if they're hoping he's like barely ready by opening day and then is just horrendous for like 2.5 months. And they're like, you know what? Now we can justify a DFA. Now we can probably make it work a little bit.
Imagine he just gets DFA'd and he uses all that money to just tour the world. Like, that would be
I hope.
a
That's what
perfect
he's gonna
scenario for both sides.
That's what he's going to do. I want to look at this contract.
It's not a ton.
It's a tough watch.
That's a tough watch. All right. Masataka Yoshida, 5 years, $90 million, $3 million signing bonus, made $15 million in 2023, and then he makes $18 million annually through 2027.
Coming off a major shoulder surgery.
The Red Sox also paid about $15.5 million as the posting fee. I mean, so
It's already
he's got
spent.
25, 26, and 20. He's got 3 years left on his deal. How much money? The Red Sox.
54 million.
Yeah, the Red Sox DFA'd Sandoval. I mean, like, I don't want to insult Yoshida and put him in the same category as Sandoval. Like, that was horrendous. He was so bad. Yoshida's not bad. He's just not good enough to just be a DH.
How much did they eat of Sandoval? Pun intended.
Half of it. So
No,
45
like what
million?
was the number?
50 something million?
It was around. It's probably around what Yoshida's owed, right?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just you have the ability to eat this contract. Like acting like you can't when you said you're willing to go over the first CBT threshold. This is such stupid and lazy gymnastics on their part. It's not that hard to do this, man. You guys made a mistake. The guy's gone. It is what it is. No one has an emotional tie to him. Attach a prospect. You're going to eat a little bit of money, of course, here, but you'll get a little bit off the books too. You're willing to go over the luxury tax. So what's the problem? It would make everything work. You could solve multiple
What do you mean?
problems.
You would like trade Yoshida to then do what?
Open up the spot on the roster. I would move Devers to DH. And then if you want to go get Nolan Arenado at that point, sure, you're upgrading your defense. What's the problem with that? You're getting a right-handed bat. I still think you should have a better one, but you're not taking Casas out of the lineup at that point. At least there's some logic on both sides of the ball to that.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just
Arenado replaces Yoshida essentially as a bat. It was a 108 OPS plus last year, right? Like you look at Yoshida, he's like a 110 guy. Both don't strike out a lot. Both don't whiff a lot.
So I wanted to talk about this. Shout out to Robbie Hyde, who
Great
had
guy.
our manager Alex Cora on his YouTube channel last week. I checked out the interview. It was great. He did a good job. Very proud of him. I've known him for a long time. We actually met through MySpace. Like he's like an OG. So I've known him since like back when I first started. And in his interview with Alex Cora did not name Alex Bregman by name. But we can fill in the blank, and he was talking about Alex Bregman, about comparing the situation to JD Martinez in 2018. We just got to, be patient, wait it out, and hopefully we can get our guy. Well, in the JD Martinez situation, it was the Red Sox and the D-backs who were bidding for JD's services. And Scott Boras was saying, well, we want $200 million. And the Red Sox were like, we have the best offer. How about 110? Like, we know that we're outbidding the D-backs and our offer is 110. And Scott Boras was like, well, we want 200. And the Red Sox were like, that's nice, but we are offering 110 million American dollars for JD Martinez. And then they went back and forth until finally spring training was about to start. And then they were like, all right, fine, 110. And that's what it sounded like Cora was suggesting he hoped would happen with the Bregman situation. But you need to make a fucking offer first, which let's just throw a guess out there that they haven't done that.
Hypothetically.
Complete guess.
We're just throwing shit against the wall here, hoping it sticks. Let's just say hypothetically the Red Sox still haven't made an offer to Alex Bregman. You got to do that first. What's not similar in the situation with JD's free agency and now Bregman's is Bregman has offers. First of all, the fucking Seattle Mariners could offer 1 year, $1 million to Alex Bregman, and you're still outbidding the Boston Red Sox. They haven't not made an offer. So you can't compare it to JD's situation because there's no offer from the Red Sox sitting on the table saying, I dare somebody to beat this. I think maybe the situation with Bregman is there's some gamesmanship going on between the two sides. Maybe Scott Boras is trying to make teams think that there's a market that hasn't quite formed yet. Maybe Scott Boras is trying to pit teams against each other to up their offers and include extra years.
Get Dave Dombrowski involved.
Huh?
Get Dave Dombrowski involved. Alec Boehm, if he gets dealt, they're asking for a lot, but it feels somewhat similar to the Triston Casas situation where like they keep screaming, rumor wise, yeah, he's probably the guy we'd move, but they want a real package.
Yeah, I don't think the Phillies are involved right now.
No.
But there are teams that are making legit offers. So that's why it's not similar. Like when I listened to Cora's comments, I was so close to tweeting, you know what? I'm back in on Bregman to Boston. I'm back in on thinking that this could happen. But I stopped myself, because I was like, well, why don't we do some digging first? Why don't we see if this is like, where are we at on this? Did that, immediately went right back to, all right, this ain't happening. And also just to tie into the new report from today, the Bob Nightingale report. Oh, the Red Sox are not going to sign Bregman because they actually want Vladdy next winter. And Vladdy, he's going to turn down what, $450 million? What was it?
He wants 450. The Blue Jays are about 100 million less right now.
Yeah. So the Blue Jays have thrown 350 at him, and he wants 450. And even at that, it's like, do I want Vladdy on the team? Yes. Do I love Vladdy? Absolutely. Is it my money? No. Do I really give a fuck? Not really. Coley?
That's what he's asking for from the Blue Jays before you say you won't pay Vladdy 450.
I'm just saying that's a fucking high number for Vladdy.
We've talked about it. We thought 350 would be in the neighborhood it gets it done. I still believe that. Him not taking 350 from Toronto is because he doesn't want to be in Toronto like everyone else on the fucking planet.
Yeah, but I mean, the report was that he's looking for 450. It didn't say specifically from Toronto
because he knows he won't go there. It feels like the Mookie situation. Mookie asked for a number that they knew the Red Sox wouldn't go to. That's what it sounds like.
Maybe that's fine. But
getting excited there.
Getting excited about Vladdy made me feel stupid this morning. And if you go look at my timeline, you can watch me in real time go through the emotions of, holy shit, Bob Nightingale thinks that Vladdy wants to play for the Red Sox? Like, we're the most likely destination? Wow, that's so exciting. And then immediately just 20 minutes later being like, you know what? Fuck the Red Sox. Like, what am I thinking? Why am I getting excited about the idea of Vladdy Jr. coming here when if he's going to turn down $350 or $300 million from Toronto and he wants $450, why the fuck would I ever think that the Red Sox would shell out, let's just say the range between $300 and $450 million for Vladdy when they're just handing out 1-year deals to everyone? When is the last time they broke the bank for anybody? It was the Chris Sale extension. When's the last time they broke the bank in free agency? I guess you could say the Trevor Story deal, what was it, like 126 million?
Oh yeah, but free agents, extension,
but it's like
free agency sale extension. So that's where
that's fair.
Free agency.
Free agency. I mean, Stats tweeted it today where it was just here are all the deals since the JD deal, and it's dark, it's morbid shit. But this has been my whole point with Bregman, and it's where I don't want him to sign Bregman because then I can't trust anything they say. What they've said, even since Heim was here, organizationally, we don't feel good giving these 7, 8, 10-year deals to people on the other side of 30. If they did that for Bregman, which it sounds like no one wants to do, it sounds like no one wants to do that for Alonso, nobody over the age of 30. If they start doing that, now I can't trust the thing they're saying. Now I think they're just spending money to spend money. That has nothing to do with the player. It has nothing to do with the fit. Just organizationally, what they've said out loud. And while I don't think they made the most earnest effort to sign Juan Soto, I don't know if they could have made a more earnest effort in the same regard outside of signing him. They put $700 on the table for a 26-year-old. They put reportedly $190 on the table for Fried. So that, even that is a little bit like, all right, that doesn't exactly line up with what you're saying either. Getting Crochet makes more sense for the organization. Vladdy will be 26 next year when he hits free agency. He fits and aligns with everything they've said to this point. What does that mean? They're guaranteed to sign him? I kind of think it does because we've talked this out. The Dodgers will not be in. They won't. The Yankees, there are still Yankee fans who are like, we're going to sign him. No, you won't. No, you will not. The only team you got to worry about is Steve Cohen and the Mets. Jared?
I was going to say this largely depends on Pete Alonso returning to the Mets or not. If he stays with the Mets, then okay. I think the Red Sox have a shot for Vladdy. But if Pete Alonso does not return to the Mets, Vladdy is going to get a fuck ton of money from the Mets.
I don't know that matters. As much as they've signed Soto, that's all they've done. That's all they've done. And I'm not knocking them for that. I know people who are like, oh, they've had a bad offseason. Those people are retired. But it's not like they've gone out and signed Correa. It's not like they've gone out and signed Max Fried. It's not like they've gone out and signed any other of these big deals. It has been Soto, which has been his life's mission since he acquired the team, was go sign Juan Soto no matter what.
But he got the guy that he honed in on.
Correct.
Because I think next winter, Vladdy would be...
I think he would be...
It's
he
also
would be the
easier
guy
to
that
get
they hone in
Vladdy
on.
now that you got Soto. So
Maybe, but he's still paying Lindor like those. That's another $314 million, $340
He doesn't
million
give a
I don't
contract.
think he cares.
He paid
It's not that
$100
he does,
million in
but you
tax
look at his
penalties.
rotation right now and tell me he doesn't give a fuck. Of course he does. There's no way he thinks Frankie Montas is better than Corbin Burns. No way.
They signed Manaea too.
They re-signed Manaea because he liked it there and he rediscovered himself there. But they brought in David Stearns for a reason. I do think there will be pushback on Vladdy because he's the first baseman that they envision at DH. It's why they don't want to sign Alonso right now because they're perfectly content putting Vientos at first.
There's also Andy Martino had it today that he thinks they could be lurking on Bregman. And if they move Mark Vientos to first, and
They
Pete
are
Alonso
lurking
says
on
screw
Bregman.
them. Huh?
They are lurking on Bregman.
Yeah, which makes sense because they don't like Brett Beatty either.
But that's another guy with David Stearns that, wouldn't technically fit into how he views the game or the kind of contracts. He'd probably be sick to his stomach giving Bregman a 5 or 6 year deal.
The thing that annoys me a lot, and this is a Nightingale article, so you take it with a grain of salt, obviously.
Especially
but
considering what his last article was.
Word
And
for
he
word.
also cited friends.
And he
Like-
changed
No, I know,
the
I
wording.
know, I
He
know.
changed the write-up after everyone tweeted it out.
But the way he
Nightingale
words
part of
this,
it's the worst. Sorry, Steve.
that's the worst part of this whole thing. But the way he words this as if Guerrero doesn't receive an extension by spring training, he'll test free agency and likely will be wearing a Red Sox uniform in 2026. To say it that definitively, and Coley, what you're saying is not fully incorrect. Yes, in theory, what the Sox have said and what they have shown you they're willing to do by getting Casas out of here, you would then fill that with Vladdy. I understand the pieces would be in place that he would be someone you would give this money to, but it's the most oversaid thing ever, but it's the most accurate thing that we all say. They've done nothing to deserve that line in the article. And the stats tweet that we reference, since the Mookie deal, 19 one-year deals, 8 two-year deals, 0 3-year deals. They're not even giving out 3-year deals. That blew my mind. And I already kind of knew it, but seeing it listed out like that was so eye-opening that no 3-year deals, no 4-year deals, a 5-year deal they regret, and a 6-year deal they regret. So how is that going to have me then as a fan in a position to think obviously, yeah, Vladdy Jr. is gonna sign with the team.
15 years. Yeah.
They're gonna lock him in, of course. There's no way that I'm gonna feel like that. And that's what pisses me off, that it even gets mentioned as he's gonna be wearing a Sox uniform because, he told friends that he wants to play for the Red Sox. Please.
It also feels like something lined up to excuse why they didn't finish the roster this offseason, right? You want to talk about you want to compete in the AL East and you want to win 90 to 95 games. That doesn't mean you have to pay Alex Bregman. That means you need to finish the roster. You need to at least get this roster to where it needs to go, to already point everything to be Vlad Guerrero in 2026. That's kind of what we're looking forward to here. To me, that feels like, hey, if we don't push the boundaries as far as we were supposed to this offseason, look to next year. We're planning to get in on that, and you're willing to move Casas and do all these different things to get there for something that you don't even fully know, that you're not 100% confident in. And I'd love to see Breslow. Say what you will. Even you go back to the Jaime or, Yamamoto and all these different things, and we're having these conversations, right? Yes, we know they're willing to extend for those talents. Right. It's a big difference between closing and getting it done and making moves a year in advance without 100% sure knowing this is where it's going to go. Don't punt on this year. You have no excuse not to go out like you were supposed to.
I didn't read it as punting on this year.
But it just feels like something that looms. Hey, if the Red Sox don't get Bregman, this is probably why. Well, then you better do something else that makes a lot of sense and gets you to where you need to go.
Sure. I mean, I think they're not going to get Bregman, A, because of Vladdy or a different deal next year. B, I think they'd prefer to have Arenado. And I don't understand the people who are like, well, Bregman's 3 years younger. I'd rather pay those years just 4 years from now. It's the worst logic I've seen thus far.
If they preferred to have Arenado, he'd be here today.
Yeah,
maybe.
Definitely. Now we're at the point where St. Louis is coming down.
Sure, but we're still
they're the last
team
team
laid out trying to move Casas to facilitate it. So that's where I don't think.
But I think that's why they're into
I don't
the
think they want
idea of
everyone
Bregman
on the roster at once at the same time.
Yeah, I think they know if they go for Arenado, they're going to have to shake things up significantly. That's what all the reporting says. With Bregman, it buys them time to figure out this entire thing with Vlad Guerrero on the horizon a year. And, your team still ceiling-wise is as high as it's possibly going to go this offseason.
Is there anyone here who'd prefer, knowing you could sign either, is there anyone here who'd prefer Bregman over Vladdy?
It depends on what Casas does this year.
Yeah, I that's why I need to see what Triston Casas does this year, because if it looks like it did in 2023, then my answer is pretty simple on this whole thing. I'm good. Triston Casas is my first baseman.
Then again, T, obviously we're big Casas guys. I think we kind of all are to a certain degree. There is a scenario where Casas has a good year and they're not treating that as all right, let's lock him in, let's keep him. They're treating that as this is going to be even better for us when we try to get a trade back. No, I know, but I wonder the scenario where Casas would be a long-term option for the Red Sox based on what we've heard, and it sounds bad.
It
doesn't really exist
anymore.
I wish it existed,
in the next 2 years.
So that's why I probably almost flipped my answer as to Casas' season, because I don't know what he could do to not be dealt at some point, or at least not extended. Because there is a scenario where you could just let him play out the years. That's something that never really gets factored in either. It's like you have control. Just let it play out.
Play all three of them.
And if you don't get, I don't think Vladdy's like a do or die. Like to your point, Cody, there's other guys you can get. It's not like that's going to be the only reason that you could compete for a World Series, especially in this American League. But there is a version of this where you can just let him play out his ARB years and then say goodbye. That might be the one that makes the most sense.
It would make it the deepest. Imagine if you have the three of them back to back to back in the lineup. Like that's as much as I would like to fix the defense. If the offense is going to be 27 Yankees shit, then I'd prefer that. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about the defense at that point. My read is like Breslow specifically, to your point, Jared, like if the Red Sox wanted Bregman, he would be here. We know that. We know they don't want
I think that kind of plays for everybody. Like it plays for Arenado. I think it plays for Tanner Scott. It plays for these other guys too, where it's like we're almost in mid-January. If you really wanted the player, you wanted the asset, you would have already acquired it.
Yeah, now
you're playing the cheap game of waiting for it to come down, which blows for all of us.
Yeah, the initial report was Arenado was plan B. I think a lot of people assumed was that the non-Juan Soto path or whatever it may be. It might just be that's the pivot if they can't play this game with Bregman and win out here, which it doesn't look like they're going to. But if they think this is the JD Martinez period, they're probably looking at it. Hey, when we lose out here, we'll pivot.
Hey, the other line that annoyed me in that article is this could be why they come out of the Alex Bregman sweepstakes. When are they in the sweepstakes? And Jared's just floating stuff. He has no connections, obviously. But like, at what point have they been really in the Bregman sweepstakes? We've got no indication of that.
I responded to T's tweet and I said, this is like me withdrawing from the PGA Tour.
I didn't see that. That's funny. Yeah. We should make a whole announcement out of that. Like that. Yeah, all right, I'm out. I'm out. Yeah. I'm not playing this year, dude.
I think I cracked the code for the Bregman contract in the scoop shop the other day. I think something we've talked about on this show. We don't know how creative the front office is getting. We know they have a draw with 1-year contracts and they have a draw with 2-year contracts. It doesn't seem like they're getting much more creative outside of that. But if you look at someone I've brought up, I opened Instagram the other day and I just saw Red Sox trade target Carlos Correa. And I was just like, hey, that's me. And looking at his deal, though, it's a 4+4, which is not a thing like in any other world. But if you offered Bregman, because I do think they're like, we don't want to pay for age 36 Alex Bregman, the MLB, not just the Red Sox. I think if you offered him a 4+2, where those are vesting years, they're not player option, they're not team options, like you earn these with play on the field, I think he would take that, and I think they would sign that. But I don't think they're even thinking about that.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. And then you also offered the reason why they won't, because they literally do only have the 1-year and 2-year deals ready to go. Like that's, I genuinely believe when you say there's drawers, they're like, that's all we got. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else you want us to do. It's what it feels like.
Yeah, people on Red Sox Twitter have been like, oh, what's going on in the scoop shop? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, we get that all the time. But like recently, because there hasn't been any news, the scoop shop has been the piss and moan shop. Like, there's been
it's been
hardly any scoop
shop.
Yeah, let's be real.
T's been getting cooked.
T's been getting haymakers in there, just absolutely eating them.
It's hard being right.
Well, you're not. That's the thing.
Oh, I definitely am.
Yeah, you're not for the most part. Yeah.
Are we going to address the topic?
We just did that. You posted.
Yeah, that was like the whole
Casas
segment.
9 times.
No,
a day.
there's a lot of Casas slander, and I'd say the only people innocent of it are, I think I'm in that camp, Steve and Coley. I think there's a lot of other slander with everybody else in that group chat.
No, I think Jared's bit's very funny. Where
I say things to hurt your feelings.
It's less and less every time.
I say things to hurt your feelings in there, but how I actually feel is how I led the show. There are the people that hate him for no good reason, There are the people like Tyler that slob all over him and it's fucking weird and I don't understand it. And then there's the people like me that are like, good player, happy to have him on my team. If he's the opening day first baseman, that's great. If he's traded for a starting pitcher that's going to help this team win, then okay. And then we'll deal with it from there. And it is what it is.
I believe in my guy.
Cool.
I think they're reaching a point where it's not great if he's on the team come spring training. They can't keep doing this and expect him to be like fine all year.
Yeah,
I think you'll get a good test at Fenway Fest when he talks and meets with people, how he handles that. That might accelerate the trade, like where you hear something happen in 3 days if it's bad. It's really an opportunity for him to be mature.
Team leader Jaron Duran won't be there, but Devers will be there. I'm sure he'll get asked about DHing. We'll
Devers
actually have an answer.
Yep.
Yeah, Devers is going to be there.
Oh.
Which, by the way, I didn't know this was part of it. I know the price is like $80 or some shit. You get tickets to a game too if you
April
go.
and May.
I feel like that's a pretty good deal, even if the tickets are going to be shit.
It's a solid deal. It's not bad at all.
It's a good deal.
Rumor is attendance is going to be very lackluster, though.
Yeah, it's going to be like 8 degrees too. But no, that is a valid way of looking at it because we've talked about, how is Triston Casas going to handle all of these rumors, and not for a second did I think this was going to like negatively impact him at all. The longer this goes on, and the more, even if like the team tries to shoot it down, the more that it keeps leaking out. These leaks are getting crazy. Like the amount of times that these reports are getting out is getting out of control. And it always, at least recently, at least the last like month, it's always about Triston Casas. So if that keeps happening, then it starts turning into, okay, like what the hell's going, if I'm the player, I'm like, what are we doing? Like at what point are you going to come talk to me and tell me that you're not gonna, is the best answer I'm going to get is just Breslow, in a media session saying that we're not going to trade you. But if it keeps coming up, then I'm going to start getting pissed off, and it's not necessarily going to be that pissed off that makes me better on the field. It's going to be the pissed off that makes me want to get the hell out of here and maybe like tank my value. I don't even know how you'd go about it.
Yeah, it's even the leverage thing too, though. If every team knows like that's the piece you want to get rid of, when you bring him up, they're gonna be like, all right, well, we know what you're trying to do here. So yeah, we know you're already selling low, prepare to sell lower. I think the good thing is, and I'm not gonna say it's the biggest thing in the world, but the fact that he's down at Camp Story and he's doing that stuff, he's not like isolating, he's sticking with the teammates, again, especially Trevor Story, who's, their clubhouse leader. He is that guy right now. I'm happy he's not like pushing himself away or being weird in that sense. That's good. That's stuff he's trying to build chemistry.
Well, if he wasn't there, it would be a fucking massive story.
Yeah, it's fair to argue. People will be like, what the hell's going on with him? But so far, you didn't create a problem out of something. I hope that's the same approach at Fenway Fest.
I gotta say, the Camp Story thing never does anything for. I like Trevor Story as the guy. It's made for your Twitter.
I love it.
The videos out of it and all that. But I'm like, okay, cool. They're working out in the off season. That's kind of what all baseball players do.
Literally their fucking jobs. Yep.
I just love the idea of them like all meeting up on working on things together, build up team stuff.
It's
like an anime.
It's called
no, it's not.
The off season for every other team. They work out, and sometimes they even work out together. It's like it's not like a Red Sox thing. I'm glad that Story does it because it's
cool for him. I like it for him.
I like the story behind it where Troy Tulowitzki did it for the Rockies, and he's paying it forward by doing it for other guys now with the Red Sox.
Enough Rockies shit.
Every player, I don't know if you know this, T, works out in the off season. They all do it.
No, but the idea you get to see. Yeah, that was a good take. But Roman Anthony, Triston Casas, all together doing stuff like that is cool. That to me, it's like, all right, Roman Anthony's getting that time.
You're a 365 guy. You're a 365 guy. So like that's more than you see normally in January. So I get it. I understand like from your perspective. Training. That's like porn to you because you're like, oh my god, like we're jumping the gun on spring training. This is incredible. So I get it from that perspective. But it's like seeing guys working out, kind of like the Casas batting practice videos, which are your favorite thing of all time. I can't help. I only enjoy replying to T now. It's my new favorite thing of all time. But
you reply to everyone.
But a lot of
that's your thing, Steve. Right? Like you're going to be.
I'm a reply guy. I'm a reply guy. That's what I do.
Guy.
I own it. That's what I do. But if there's a Triston Casas BP video,
I'm on it.
He gonna tweet it. He gonna tweet it.
I follow his trainer, man. There's good content on that page. I'm telling you that much right now.
Well, you haven't posted any of it, so I wouldn't know. It was cool when like Brady and Edelman and Amendola and Hogan would get some like retreat in Wyoming and just throw the fuck out of the ball because those guys were champions and I knew what they were doing was working. It doesn't hit the same when it's people who like they hit 500 and they want a parade like that. It's not the same feeling to me.
And if the guy that's leading it is your boy Coley, who leads these camps and is probably more active in the camp than he can be during the season, like that's not great.
It was also, you could argue the camp was cursed last year because Trevor Story died, Tristan Casas died, Von Grissom died, York got traded. Like,
gave him a poor tapeworm. He lost 75 pounds.
Like it was pretty rough for that group.
Who did I hear? So Don Rafaela, I heard put on a lot of muscle this offseason, which I'm excited about. Yeah.
Is it going to make him stop chasing things out of the zone?
Just what's your problem, man?
That's the point. That's his problem.
You're always crapping on somebody.
Not Tristan Casas.
Exactly. When someone has like a mild criticism of Casas, you fly off the handle. But we talk about Rafaela, our most clutch player last year per the numbers. And you're just like, this guy fucking stinks.
No, I don't think he stinks. I just think he's probably best suited for a super utility role.
I don't disagree, but I think that his ceiling could be higher than that.
Sure. Am I super confident he's going to get there? No. And I think part of it's going to be opportunity. I think when you get Roman Anthony and the outfield gets crowded rather quickly, it's going to be tough.
That graphic, by the way, with Roman Anthony in the teal Sea Dogs jersey. Oh, they got to make that the full time. What are we doing here? Come on.
I think, is that how this ends, Jerry? Is Casas back to Miami and Alcantara comes up here? Because it doesn't feel like anything else actually makes sense.
I could accept that. Love Sandy.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
What's his
kind of like how I wouldn't hate cracking open an ice cold blue moon right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'd love it.
Yeah. That's how you ring in the new year. That's how you get the. You know what? I'm probably going to be drinking some Blue Moons this weekend if I make it off the.
I was going to say,
is that what they're going to recommend?
I don't know.
A couple moons will do you.
Yeah,
it might heal you.
I think so too.
They prescribe some moons.
Yeah, it'll definitely heal my soul. I know that.
Mm-hmm. How long are you going to be like out? How
6 weeks.
What?
6 weeks.
That's not true.
Can you walk?
No. I can't even like stand up.
You need a piss bucket.
I'm gonna be like laying down for a while.
Oh hell!
You can suspend me for this. I forgot what the surgery is. What is it? What is it on?
My penis is a.
Right. It was a reduction because of the big dick. Right.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't be able to walk because you'll have a smaller penis.
Well, they got to push it like way back up into them.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like
This isn't your first one either, right, Jared?
I had a smaller procedure that just didn't take.
It got bigger.
They went.
The paper was hard to read. You know how doctors write, so they made his balls much larger the first time.
Yeah. Jerry Big Balls.
Yeah, I think
they just
when was
pumped
that?
him
February. It was right before I came to the dog,
and
need
that ball surgery.
I had a smaller procedure that didn't take, and then they were like, "This guy's cock and balls, man. we gotta downsize." So this is the big surgery.
Nice.
But I'm gonna be drinking those Blue Moons. I'm gonna be drinking them this weekend. I already said, I can't remember if I said it on this show or Baseball is Dead, but my dad is taking me to the hospital, and I instructed him to take my phone away because when I got my wisdom teeth out and I came out of anesthesia, I was telling the doctors how I was Randy Moss, and I truly believed it. And then I started texting my boss, and it was just absolute gibberish. Like none of the words were real words. And I was like, now that it's no longer 2008, I was like, I should not have my phone in my hands, nor should I. It shouldn't be anywhere near me. So I'm gonna make sure that that's a thing. That's like a big fear of mine is like
becoming Randy Moss. Yeah,
becoming Randy Moss,
becoming the greatest receiver ever.
Yeah,
oh, he's good now. I think right. He's good.
Oh, he healed.
I think so. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah.
Congrats.
We can still pray for him though.
Yeah, pray for
him too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Man, I
pray
love
for Randy.
Wells.
There you go.
Pray for Blue Moon. You know? Yeah. Because trades, free agency, roster cuts, baseball season just feels so far away right now, but excitement is already building. Blue Moon gives you a dose of ballpark nostalgia without even being at the park. In fact, Blue Moon was born in a ballpark at the Sandlot Brewery in Denver, Colorado. Its bold flavor, bright explosion of color, and iconic orange slice ritual guarantees a one-of-a-kind beer experience year-round. T, how many Blue Moons you plan on drinking this weekend?
I'm actually healthy and not having surgery, so probably 20 to 24.
Okay.
Spread out. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You think I can't match you just because I had surgery?
I don't want you to match me. I don't want you to die. And like, just
You're
in my
assuming-
opinion, if
you're
you're
assuming I'm
drinking a
making it
lot
off
of
the table.
beer and your penis was operated on, that feels like very counterproductive because you're going to have to release fluid.
Yeah, I guess so.
T, are you saying you're good because it's already a small penis? Is this what?
Nope. My penis is healthy.
I think what he said.
I'm not saying it needs to be reduced. Maybe a doctor would think that, but for now, I'm at a healthy, significant size.
Yeah.
Shout out Martha.
Sorry, she know.
Shout out breaking the fucking headboard, huh, boys? Yeah.
Post it up on it.
From its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something that's one-of-a-kind, best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful hazy color? A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all off-season long. Make winter weather feel like spring training. Blue Moon Belgian style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind every time. Get Blue Moon delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared to see your delivery options. That's get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter, celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And Suckwan. There was a Reddit thread last week, I think it was since our last recording, and it was like, hey, you know, I'm a woman. I'm looking for a Red Sox podcast that's hosted by all women, and people. This was maybe not the best segment to transition into this thought, but there was a comment that was like, "Hey, you should check out Section 10. It's not hosted by any women, but they're very inclusive to their female audience, which very proud of that. Yes, you know, we make sure that everyone feels welcome. That is something that I was proud of.
Love broads.
T.
Thank you. Steve, did you feel like I made a move at D-Train on Twitter? Did you feel like I was putting the moves on?
In what?
On Twitter? Did you see my response to Jared's picture with her?
No, what did you say?
Good.
He said two goats, and he was talking about her breasts.
Oh, right, the boob conversation. No,
Yeah.
I would look at that. See, I know how T tweets. I've been studying his tweets. So
Why?
when we were doing McCoy, he gave us 3 goats.
Dickhead, dude.
I'm
No,
not
that
saying
was
study.
after
I'm not
the
saying
fact.
studying in a good way. I'm just trying to study how
All
his
right,
mind
now
works.
you're the dickhead. You didn't have to clarify that.
He's like Jane Goodall, and you're an ape in the wild, and he's
Yeah, I'm trying to understand you better, T. So
Yeah.
I saw when we were at McCoy, you gave us the 3 goat treatment.
But that was
and I obviously-
after. He was trying to like muddy the waters after.
right.
the
Oh,
fact.
so you did that intentionally to try to get away from the boobs thing?
Yes.
No, I'm pretty sure that was before the boobs thing.
No, it was
No,
kind
it
of
was
like
post-
a callback.
No.
It was a callback to be like, see, look, I called the 3 guys in this picture goats. Like, no.
You think I was talking about your guys' dicks in that other
No,
picture?
no, no,
Nah,
no,
potentially.
no.
I don't think he was
It
talking
was
about
a
the
red
boobs for the
herring.
records.
Thank
I think
you.
he's talking about you guys being goats.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, D-Train's a goat. Come on now.
Shout out D-Train.
Yeah, I mean, listen, she's cool and all, but like, I know what you were doing, T.
I'll never come back to your house.
Well, I mean, you have to. We're gonna be doing streams a whole
Just
bunch
there last
this year.
night. Fun
True.
time.
Oh
Fun
yeah,
time
Steve
at
was
the
here last
Carrabba's
night
pad.
for the Raw Netflix debut.
Mm-hmm. That was a blast.
Was last night the death of kayfabe as we know it?
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
They killed John Cena too.
What?
Or isn't like he wrapping up right now? Like this is the end.
He's got a whole year left, brother.
He's got a
He's
year
doing
left.
like
Did it start?
37
Was
shows
this
or some shit.
the start of the ending campaign?
Yeah.
It's the beginning of his
Okay.
last year.
That was close.
His last run.
Farewell tour.
Which no one believes that, right?
I do. I mean, he'll do like the run.
He'll
like
come
the
back
Undertaker
later down the
just came
road.
out.
That's what I
last
mean.
night.
They don't have farewell.
But he's
tour.
not gonna have a match.
You gotta die.
Can I say something that pisses me off about John Cena?
Sure.
Dude, why can't he get a fucking hair transplant? It is the worst bald spot I've ever seen on a dude who has all the
He's
money in
aging-
the world.
He's aging gracefully.
He's
He won't-
combing over it.
No, he's not.
It's just like room.
Yeah,
But you look
He
from
acknowledges
behind.
it. He's like, I'm aging how I'm gonna age.
Ugh.
I
It is
respect with a full
respectable,
head of hair.
but he obviously has the dough for it. I am surprised, T. I've seen it too, and I've thought, like, man,
It's
you
rough.
could easily get that fixed, and he obviously has the means, but he decides not to.
That's exactly why I wouldn't get it fixed. I have the mean. Who gives
Yeah,
a
it's almost
fuck?
too obvious to get it fixed. I mean, it's like LeBron too. Same
But
thing.
it's
But like
who
he's in
cares? Like,
movies and shit.
yeah. And they have hair and makeup. Like they. put a
That's
wig
called
on
being
them. Like,
secure.
But John
Yeah.
Cena is very comfortable in his own skin, so I don't think he needs to
Yeah.
prove anything to anyone.
No. What was that, Tyler?
That's what he does.
That was a weird version of
Oh,
it,
yeah,
though. You're like,
you came over the top like that. That's not
Sorry,
what
the
that
mic's
was.
in the way.
Peculiar.
That is like when he hits that shit.
Yeah. Anyways, the women listeners, we
Mm.
love you guys. We
Yep.
see you. We hear you. We're supportive of the female listeners out there.
Mhm.
All this got me thinking. What female voice could we have on Section 10? There's got to be a candidate, right? Or candidates, plural.
Jen McCaffrey can definitely be on the
So
program.
I thought about that. I don't know, I
don't know if she wants to. I gotta be-
the vibes, right? Like it has
She's
to
a
fit the
serious
vibes.
person.
She's very serious, like very nice and polite.
Super nice.
When I see her, but like I don't like so. For example, Sean McAdam. He's never been on the show before. I love Sean. I go every time I see him. We talk about what concerts we've been to recently, like what albums we like. Great relationship. I don't know that he fits the vibes. Like I don't like. He's great for
might.
information. He's got good reports. But I don't know that he would enjoy being here. I don't know that he would have a good time. And it's the same thing
I
with
had a
Jen.
really
I don't
good
know that she would
combo.
have a good time.
I had a really good convo with Jen. I had introduced myself at the San Diego winter meetings. So I'm like, I should know Jen McCaffrey at this point. Like we've been in the same circle for a while. Great convo. Followed her. Didn't get the follow back. I'm like, all right, I don't think she's off it on the show.
Yeah.
But to your point, yeah, vibes wise. Then again, this is such a male dominated space. Not even saying it in the whole like it just is like what we do with the Sox. It's a bunch of dudes. Anytime you're on the field, by the way, like there's like no girls there, basically, right? Who gets
That's why-
credentialed?
so there's a few people that I would love to have on that are women that I've asked that have been like me, like I don't have it, like, but it's like yes, like they're being humble.
Yeah.
Like Raquel Ferreira, who I've said for years now, I've tried to get her on the podcast. And Pam Ken probably has stories for days. Just recently left the Red Sox, but that doesn't mean that she. I don't
Probably
know.
not
Like,
that she
but
can't
that's the
tell,
thing is like,
too.
would she come on and tell the good?
I
Like
don't
she's
think
got
so.
a million great stories. That's the thing. But Pam passes the vibes test. Raquel passes the vibes test. I'm trying to think of
I got the one.
who is it?
Tessie?
Menounos.
Oh,
Menounos, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah,
Big
we've been
Sox
trying for a long time. I feel like we almost got her on opening day 2019. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
What happened?
I don't remember.
I remember you mentioned this and it fell through and I was pissed off.
It wasn't for opening day. It was for the ring ceremony at home in 19. She was supposed to come on.
We'll get her.
Menounos would be the answer, though.
Menounos. Yeah, but I'm telling you, like
Stefanos.
Pam, Raquel.
Oh man.
We could get Stefanos.
Mhm.
She hosted Pedro's charity event last year.
There you go. Pedro's
Yep.
wife would have great stories.
Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You've been trying to set up something with Catherine, right?
Yeah, so like she talks
Catherine
a big
Veritek.
game.
She
She talks
does,
a big
for
game.
years.
I love Catherine. She's one of my best friends in the whole world, but she'll be like, we got to do a podcast. It's like, all right, then let's do it.
We were at the 19 winter weekend. She's like, oh, it's going to be at the house. Jason's going to be there. D'Lo's going to, like, the whole 04 Sox are going to be there. I'm like, all right, like, let's do this.
I mean, we've
This
been talking about that podcast for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to do it. You tell me when. Catherine would be a heavily edited show. She would be saying things where we would be like, pass off the audio to Tech, and he'd be like, all right, this got to come out. That's got to come out. Can't believe she said that. Like, that's coming out.
It would just be the intro and the outro. I think that's it. I don't know if anything else would last. She would be very entertaining, though. Some of the stuff she said.
Oh, man. Like, she
first place entertainment-wise.
She's reality show worthy. Like, if you just followed her around, it would be reality show worthy. Yeah, so like there's definitely female voices that we could have on, but we also just like don't do a ton of guests on the show.
Stay tuned for next Thursday's episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Rest in peace, Jared Carabas. Yeah. We're putting out an episode that has an interview. It's our very next episode. And it's my last podcast ever.
Mm-hmm. Post-mortem.
Yep.
It's good one to go out on, by the way. Really good one to say farewell to.
Tupac album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. But yeah, all that to say, we appreciate our female listeners big time. Appreciate you guys. Including Martha, who listens.
Of course.
Why did you shake your head, dude? Why'd you shake your head?
I don't like when you say her name.
But you say all of our like
all
mom's
the time,
names,
dude.
like girlfriend,
Yeah,
wife.
yeah,
You'll say all the females we know.
I say
names.
D-Train, and it's oh my god, how could you?
I've never once.
You give me this look.
that.
I see the look. I put goats down, and you think I'm talking tits.
Well, I mean,
You were.
I don't think he was talking
Martha, I
if
wasn't.
he put like melons down or something, like I don't think he was talking boobs. That would have been
would not have accepted that.
It's 17 eggplants. It's like, whoa.
Whoa, hey. What? It's about your surgery. What? Like, he just makes up an excuse.
Speaking of John Cena's hair, men, if you've lost your hair, it doesn't mean you can't find it again. Try Hims Hair Loss Solutions, and you'll be joining hundreds of thousands of subscribers who found their hair again. Hims provides you with convenient and quality access to a range of hair loss treatments that work all from the comfort of your couch. T, you're trying that Hims, right?
Yes, slowly but surely. It takes a little bit for you to see any results, though.
That's fine. You've got patience, though, right?
Of course. Everyone has time.
Mm-hmm. You can choose from personalized, chewable, oral, spray, and serum treatments to find what works so it's best for you. The process is simple and 100% online, so there's no uncomfortable doctor visits. Answer a few questions, and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your treatment is sent directly to you for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. Hims has hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, and they can help you get your confidence back too with visibly thicker and fuller hair. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/section10. That's HIMS.com/section10. That's 10 for your personalized hair loss treatment options. hims.com/section10. Earlier, Tyler, you said you weren't expecting a big turnout for the Red Sox Fan Fest. Is that informed?
Not directly, but the way that Catillo and McAdam were talking was that should be the expectation.
That's just a guess, or do they have like inside
How the hell would you
information on
know
ticket
that?
sales?
It sounded like they had somewhat, of an idea. They said, the way the Red Sox treated it, it was essentially an afterthought, something that was put together well after. And yeah, this is kind of the result of whatever it may be. Then you include the weather, you include how fans typically feel about the offseason, where they're not entirely thrilled either, somewhere in the middle, I guess you call it for a lot of people. Some people feel like they were lied to once again. Yeah, they weren't expecting a great turnout.
I do feel bad for the people that put it on. Like, I'm assuming it's the usual suspects, Sarah McKenna, John Carter, people like that, who actually do care about putting on a great event for the fans. But they've got to know walking into this being like, these people are going to be fucking furious. Like, another year gone by and people are still furious every year. I mean, this was what, like, when they got booed off the stage, that was 2 years ago. Then they did the other one where, they had Papelbon try and go up there and make the fans happy, and they fucking were still raging. And now here we are, the third one. And I mean, what's there to be happy about?
There is no town hall aspect this year either. Like, the only time anyone gets to ask questions, I believe it's kids only asking questions, which is as softball as it gets. But I do think it is, compared to other off seasons, the least fair this year. They did trade for Crochet. They did sign Walker Buehler. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, they've done enough by any means. But other years, we've had nothing to talk about.
Oh, this is way
last year
different.
You marketed the Big Four that included Nick York.
Right.
Yeah, this is way different than when they've gotten destroyed at past winter weekends. I'm sure it's contract related. I'm just surprised that they don't have winter weekend again, like at one of these casinos. Because even if, fans are down and they want to go and boo, it doesn't really fully feel like the vibe right now because we're kind of the 1 foot in, 1 foot out on a team that can compete for a playoff spot. But yeah, I'd still expect that they'd have the casino vibe, indoors, heated, meet the players in a controlled climate instead of being at Fenway. Is it all outside? Does it sound like it's
a lot of it's going to be in the music
me.
hall for the panels.
Okay, all right. I guess that makes a little sense. But yeah, this is all, it seems like last second and rushed. And the fact that we didn't really even talk about going, I understand Jared's getting his dick reduction, but like, I just think that this would have been something that we would have been at. And if we don't have that kind of energy, I think a lot of people won't either.
I was getting yelled at on Twitter by like, Section 10 is not going to be at the Fan Fest. What the fuck? And I'm like, I can't be there. Like, what's everyone else's excuse? I'm like, I don't blame them for not going. Like, what incentive? Because I get it. Like, if there are fans that are like, all right, I'm going to show up to this thing. I'm going to get an autograph with Triston Casas and Lou Merlone.
I'll be there.
And it's like, all right, yeah, like, I get why you would want to do that. Me personally, that doesn't get my tiny balls out of bed in the morning.
You go there to get Casas' autograph.
I did heavily think about going solo and just making it like a one-man trip. I felt bad dragging Martha.
Why?
I don't know. Like, baseball she puts up with during the regular season, and I appreciate it very much because I watch it every single night. So during the off season,
I guess you're going on a date, T.
Yeah,
it's also the weekend of our anniversary, so it's a little tricky. But we'll see. I'm not really super into, like, I don't get off on meeting the players though. I like it, it's cool, but in my head it almost ruins it a little bit when I meet them one-on-one.
How much of that have you had to this point? Not even saying that as a negative.
It's more Patriots and Celtics because of the Sports Hub.
Okay.
I introduced you to Nick Sogard.
That was awesome. But I also feel like when I shake their hand, they're like, this fucking nerd. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, I am a nerd. Liam Hendricks loved me.
If they want us next year, there's no reason we shouldn't be doing a live show during that if they want people to show up.
What year was that, Steve? Where we were gonna do a live show at Winter Weekend, and then it was like, yeah, but you're gonna be like at this bar, like in the back corner. And I was like, no.
Yeah, not happening.
No.
It was either 19 or 20 where they set that up, and we immediately were like, yeah, there's no chance. That's just
no.
not.
I mean, like, not to suck our own dicks here, but like we definitely could have filled up one of those auditoriums at Winter Weekend. Yeah.
I mean, not to blow us here, we could have just done a meet and greet and filled it up, probably. We literally did that at House of Blues.
Yeah, but like doing a live show at Winter Weekend, like those are the diehards of the diehards.
Oh, of course.
You're getting out there. I mean, how many of the first 5 winter weekends was there a goddamn blizzard that it always happened during Winter Weekend? So these people are getting up and out in the middle of a blizzard, driving up to Connecticut, and for baseball, like these are the biggest diehards that the team has. So I was pretty sure, like if we did a live show in one of the auditoriums, we would have banged that thing out. And it was kind of like, yeah, you can do something, but it's going to be like at this restaurant in the corner. I was like, this is where like, yeah, I was like, this is no.
But I also felt like we didn't have to do that. Like, it's not necessarily no, I know, but like it's such a wide range of fans that I feel like we brought a lot of value to Winter Weekend by just being there and shooting the shit with people and all of that. Those interactions I think matter a lot versus there are some. I mean, I gotta say this. No, I know, but there's some live show stuff where like we had with Cask and Flagon where the mics don't work and everyone's just kind of looking at you. And I'm like, I'd rather we all just like talk Sox.
Foxwoods Casino.
Like, no, I know, but it's at some restaurant. You just never know. You never know what the setup's going to be.
Oh, that's why I said no, the restaurant. But the
an auditorium, of course. Yeah.
Like that would have played, especially because like Winter Weekend and all these other fan fests are family friendly events. So most of the stuff, if everything is during the day. And then at nighttime, that's when people would be like, they would go out, they would gamble, they would, try to run into a player at the poker tables. So it's like if they made us the nighttime event, then we're not drawing fans away from the other stuff that you have planned. Like they didn't have anything planned after like 5 p.m. Like they could have put us on at 8 p.m. and it would have been great.
Those early ones, man. Those early winter weekends. Just the poker table just reminded me when we took the picture with Hanley and Christian Vasquez. I'm like, this is very funny. Mm-hmm. But they immediately changed the format after that. They didn't really want the players walking around without security after that. But the 2017 winter weekend, hard to beat it.
Yeah, that was a fun one, huh, Steve?
Yeah, all right. What's the next topic after this? Let's keep it moving.
Oh, man. Still one of my favorite stories that's never been told.
Mm-hmm. Let's keep it that way. Let's not go there.
But you had a good time, though?
Yes. Yeah. Like 90% of it was awesome.
Yeah.
Other 10% wasn't awesome?
No, but I think we're up against it. I think we're up against it. Nah. What did you guys hear, Jeremy? Jeremy said rap.
Yeah, no, he didn't say anything, I don't think.
I thought I heard him say we gotta shut it down. I don't know.
No. He was like, because he wasn't part of the team.
How fun would it be? T, I love you, T.
Thank you.
The fact that we haven't had like a winter weekend with T is a tragedy. Like we deserve a T winter weekend. That would be so much fun.
I don't think we're getting a version of Winter Weekend back in the future. It doesn't. So why
not? We haven't like doved it into that. Why not?
Apparently, they were pretty unhappy with how, I guess, between the commute to go to Springfield and do all that, along with the turnout, wasn't exactly. And I don't think they like the format as much anymore. After the town halls went really poorly and stuff like that, it seems like they're just out on the idea.
Why would happen?
I don't know, man.
That makes even more sense for us to have a slot. And I'm not even just saying that because it's us, but like if they're going to use us to sell regular season tickets,
you would think
a stage show with us, and then we bring out Lou for 15 minutes, and then Will for 15 minutes,
Poppy,
and then Poppy. Even nothing's going to make the fans more excited than that hour.
Yeah, even if you made it an option, like if you want to go do the tours and all the different stuff they're doing after the panels,
force people by the gunpoint, but like just have it as an option. That seems like an easy sell.
Oh man, I was just about to say Jake booked the Red Sox, but he's not here.
Jeremy booked the Red Sox.
No, it doesn't work like that.
You're talking to Jeremy like he's Siri there.
Jeremy can do anything.
He can, but you don't tell Jeremy what to do.
Yeah, you're right. I look at Jeremy more as a big brother. Tell me what to do, Jeremy. Slowly.
This is back to your father making you come or whatever you were talking about.
He didn't make me come. Papa did not make me come.
Bend me over, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I didn't nudge.
Oh, God.
Again, big shout out to the women who listen to the show.
The show is for men and women.
It's everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's very inclusive.
It's for guys. It's for gays. It's for everybody.
Yep.
That's the white power symbol.
This? I
Watch
retract.
yourself, T.
Just put your hand.
Then you just had your hand at an angle that was.
Yeah, that's too
What did I
close.
do?
Just put your hand down.
I was just
Start
cheering
with the
on.
hand. No,
The
no,
whiter
no.
power symbol. I don't know.
Yeah, you just went to the worst signal ever. You're good, T.
You're good, T.
I'm just
Put
going
it
to
down.
step back here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
put him down.
In summary, would have been nice to have T at Foxwoods Winter Weekend. And I should clarify, not just Winter Weekend. If he was at the Foxwoods one, if we got T at Shrine, like, forget about it. That'd be incredible. But it's not going to happen.
Forget about it, didn't you?
It's not going to happen. All right. Yeah, that's
Listen,
it.
hey, you know what? we'll get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I don't think Winter Weekend's dead forever. I think they were just kind of in between contracts and they were like, do we really give a shit to have this resolved immediately?
This was definitely a contract thing, and then they're like, we got to give the fans some kind of off-season thing. Fenway Winter Fest. I don't know. Just figure it out.
Why is Foxwoods like, why did they ever go away from it in the first place?
They signed a
Seems
contract
perfect.
with MGM.
It's too
It's
much
like
fun.
Yeah, MGM spray. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
A deal with them. Yep.
Follow the money,
Foxwoods
T.
is so much bigger, though. It's about money.
Yeah, well, I mean, the MGM and it's Springfield. Like, it's not a great selling point.
You got the Basketball Hall of Fame there. That's literally it.
And
Six
ton of
Flags?
crack.
Yeah, that January trip to Six Flags goes
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Nothing,
different.
nothing like
It's
the
cheaper.
January winds whipping in your face and you're
Yeah.
doing 65 miles an hour on the
While you're on
backhand
that-
ride.
On that crack.
On crack. Yeah.
Cracked the gills.
All cracked up at the Springfield Six Flags.
It's lit, bro.
With Raffy mid-January.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It sucks because like I would 1000% if I would have scheduled my surgery around Winter Weekend at Foxwoods. Like I would have made it so that I could be there. But this, no. The Springfield one, no. I think, did we do one or two? I think
We
only
did one. It's right
One.
before the pandemic.
Yeah, we did one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Casino Steve. That was
Steve.
that could have been a lot more fun. That wasn't a fun time overall.
No. No. But I mean, every team does a fan fest. And it looks like a lot of them are indoors.
I think all of them are. This might be the first one that's outside.
well,
And we're in the coldest city like in the league.
Yeah.
Whose idea was this?
Yeah. Well, they used to do Christmas at Fenway. That was
Yeah, true.
a lot
But
of it
that's
was
like
inside, though.
Christmas. That's like, leaning into it
Yeah.
with the coldness and being by the lights and all that.
They also
Yeah.
they used to have the day, like the tickets went on sale. This is like 20 years ago, where you would just like line up and they would let you in to Aura, wherever the fuck. And like it'd be like, well, before we process people's orders, we got to take everyone one by one. Like we're going to have Wakefield speak. We had, Theo one year gave like an hour, like just fielding questions from people. It was sick.
I do want to say real quick, I'm never going to shoot down any event that's going to create memories with kids and their parents and them getting to meet the players, stuff they never forget. So with that value like that obviously, that has value. That has value. I get that. But it does feel like a very rushed thing that could have been a lot cooler that then we obviously could have maybe played a part in. Next year.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to do anything special. I know they're doing like a meet the pitching staff or thing, but for Crochet and Bueller, their first time in Red Sox uniforms, they never did anything. We never got, maybe Bueller on a 1-year deal is a little aggressive, but Crochet never came here and took pictures or did anything. This is probably their photo op chance. And I don't know. I'm curious to see how they play that up.
Not well.
Breaking news.
Yeah. It's depressing. You know, we used to be a society. We used to be a fan base that did fun stuff. We used to win baseball games. We used to win World Series titles. We used to have winter weekend. And now we don't really win as many baseball games. We certainly don't win World Series titles. And we stand outside in the cold instead of in the VIP of Shrine getting shit-faced with... There you go. Yeah. We used to be a fun little society. Mm. Anything else in the notes, T?
We had Catillo's entire bullpen connection thing today where he connected about 7 relievers.
If you're linked to
Red Sox.
everyone, you're linked to no one.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to frame it.
Yeah.
Chris
Let me
Martin,
know.
I appreciated your time here. I'm very thankful
whatever.
for you. I'm going to miss
Whatever.
you. Whoa, respect Chris Martin. That's crazy.
I was sitting next to Steve when the news broke that Chris Martin was signing with the Rangers. And I was like, I can't wait for Tyler's sentimental speech about Chris Martin. Like 2 irrelevant seasons in Red Sox history.
Stop it. The first one was historical.
I mean, he had a 1 year.
I'm not
right?
saying he wasn't good. I'm saying 2022 and 2023 will go down as very forgettable seasons in Red Sox history. Or excuse me, 23 and 24.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love you, Chris Martin. I would have taken you back. The Red Sox
You almost
seemed
had a sub
into
one,
the
right?
idea.
You almost got a sub 1 that year.
He didn't want to be here.
Yeah, no, he wanted to go home.
He did
Yeah,
take less
bye.
money.
See
And
ya.
last year was
Bye-bye.
I was,
He was fine.
with not yeah, but he wasn't around a lot. He was
Yeah.
constantly he was either getting hit with the ball just immediately or just not pitching. Like it was he didn't really help last year, even if the numbers weren't bad when he did pitch.
It's one of the best reliever seasons in Red Sox history. I was rooting for the
sure.
sub 1. That was like the only thing to pull for at the end of 2023 for us losers.
And like,
Yeah, he threw 44 innings this past
the
season. He threw
Doogie
51
standing
and
ovation.
23.
And the Doogie standing O. Yeah, those are the
Yeah.
2 things I was pulling for. I was like, all right, Doogie's obviously going to get a standing O, and then
Yep.
Chris Martin's going to have a sub 1.
Doogie, yeah.
I was going to do Doogie.
Full circle
Doogie.
moment for Chris Martin, too, coming back here.
Who fucking cares?
See, you're still going.
Listen, I valued his time in the Red Sox organization
fucking
back in 2013. It meant something to me.
I don't give a
many people said
shit.
he was kind of the leader of the bullpen out there as well. Like,
Yeah, he led them to fucking last place.
It wasn't his fault. Everyone got
Who
tired.
cares?
It was a good signing.
Yeah, he was good that 1 year.
Both years.
That was the offseason where it did feel like they were starting to spend. And then
Heim told everyone, he was like, listen, guys, first year, we're going to try to compete for the wild card. I'm signing you on the 2-year deal. So the second year we push. And then that's why Kenley fucking hates everything about Boston.
Kenley's still sitting out there.
Catillo said he is not coming back.
Everybody, all the relievers are just chilling. I saw a graphic today. I was like, geez, these guys are pretty good. Nobody wants them.
Tanner Scott's got to go.
Catillo said Kenley's not coming back.
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
Man.
I
Could have
don't know.
sworn he was coming back.
Great ending.
I'd be so happy if Kenley came back.
How is that
2-year deal.
story not out there yet? Like someone he obviously pissed off a lot of people here. How has there not been some sort of anonymous sourced story?
Surprised Catillo hasn't done it yet.
I don't think
Very
it's
leaky
deeper than
offseason,
he just
too.
left. he just left with like a week left, and he was like, "I'm all set with this."
I guess.
Yeah, isn't the main story just kind of already known that he
Yeah.
just bounced and people were pissed off? I'm sure there's
I'm
other
all
stuff.
set.
Yeah, he's like, "These guys stink. That's not. I didn't lose. You did." And he left.
Never forget the game going on, and he's just showing like what meal he's cooking up in his kitchen.
While they were when they officially got eliminated, he was
Right.
just like, "Man, look at this spread."
Oh my god, my
Dude,
wife
posted
killed
on
it
his story
again.
more that week than he did the entire season. He was
Oh,
living
of course.
it
Well,
up.
that's not true. When we had him on, that guy
True.
was posting. He was posting
That is
everything
a-
we were posting.
One thing I'll always be thankful for: he shared a lot of our stuff. on the story. Basically, anytime we tagged him, he would share it.
Oh yeah.
And then he
would
left
still do it
early
today.
and pissing people off.
I mean, that's the Kenley boys. That's the Kenley boys' life, dude.
Always up.
Always up. I mean, he was afraid of going down, so that's why he had to abandon ship.
Yeah,
He
they
got
went
out of there.
down. He did not.
Yeah, he was still up.
He stayed up.
He probably got a
He's
ring for the Dodgers winning.
Yeah.
He's
still up right now.
for those World Series games.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
was loving it.
He was like, I gotta stay up. I can't be around
He's
this
just popping
loser-ass
champagne.
franchise. Yeah.
Like, let's go. We did this. Remember when I gave up all those runs to you guys in LA? Like, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to T's point, we haven't gotten anyone better than Kenley and Chris Martin yet this offseason.
Chapman over Chris Martin.
Nope.
That's not really. He's just left.
What?
I would roll this Chapman the last 2 seasons. No.
Yeah, versus Martin.
I'm saying
It's not-
like what this season's going to be for Chapman versus Chris Martin. They could be comparable.
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Chappie?
Maybe.
I feel like they're such polar opposites, though. Like Chris Martin's a guy you never have to worry about walking someone. I'd say Justin Slayton, I think, is going to be like a younger version of him. You need to find someone for that 8th and 9th inning.
I guess.
Someone you feel comfortable if they need to save some games.
This dude's out there.
How did we get this long of an episode when not a goddamn thing happened?
Jared, this happens every episode. I don't know. I don't know how you're surprised.
I guess.
What do you think the shortest off-season episode has been?
This one.
Over 2 every time.
I mean, yeah, this one's not going to hit 2 if we're rapping. Jared doesn't want to rap, which is...
Yeah, you're the conductor of the train here. Like, this is...
No.
Yeah.
No.
You drive the ship.
Yeah, but like the vibes tell me when to stop. I don't just decide when. There's been plenty of times where I'm like, I'm done with this podcast, and we go for another hour and 45.
Oh, that's me every show. We did.
We're pitching hypothetical shows like
I know.
with the Red Sox. Steve's like, what if we just talk to people instead?
There's nothing to talk about. It's the offseason. They haven't done shit.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. But we did. Can we say who it was? We should tease the show we have dropping on Thursday.
I don't want to.
Okay, but
They'll be
why?
dead.
It's an interview. Tyler?
How about we
Yeah,
do
but-
a hint?
No.
Anyone
bleep
into
it
the
out?
hint idea? Steve Coley.
No.
Why?
Steve,
Why?
I'm into the hint idea.
All right. The hint is he's a player.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's enough.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's a player. Yeah.
On the Red Sox.
What? I said one hint, you fucking asshole.
Yeah. that was
One
too
hint. One hint. He's like the kid on Christmas Eve when I'm like, it's okay if you open one present. And then he just like starts tearing shit open. I need to open this. I need to open this. You're a spoiled little brat kid. You are.
I love you too.
I said one hint. Couldn't help himself. 201, baby.
202.
Spank him around, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm gonna spank him.
Not allowed. Well, if you talk to Martha.
I'm not even allowed to say her name, I guess. I can't even be like, hey, Martha,
Right.
thanks for listening to the show. We appreciate your support, Martha.
No, she listens to every episode. She might actually know
and
things
I
more than I do.
appreciate that. And I appreciate that she does that.
Big fan.
What if, and we just like to throw out ideas.
Yep.
We're looking for a woman voice on the show. What if we swap out T with M?
Ooh.
Can I drop something here that I think will mean a lot to you guys?
Okay.
Outside of you, Jared, she might be the biggest Bobby Dalbec fan in the entire world.
Oh,
She
yeah.
absolutely
Okay.
loves Bobby Dalbec.
That's
She
your
is
answer right there.
I knew
That's
I
why you
loved
hate him.
Martha.
Now I know why you hate him.
Maybe that might factor in.
You know what?
Bobby Dalbec's taking my
His
girl.
girl likes Bob. There you go.
Now we know.
Makes sense.
Now we know what the root of it is.
Well,
It's
she just
always
be
been
simping
to
over
it.
him when he was fucking striking out.
All right,
at
this
over
is
a
it. This is
30%
the
clip.
answer. He's doing the voice. This is the answer now. He's pissed off.
It's so worked up.
When he does the lean in, well, what the like, you know, he's not.
Growling.
She must
I
think
know.
Casas fucking sucks.
She said she's not into Tristan Casas' physical appearance.
Not into it.
Oh,
That's why you're like, that's my guy, not a threat.
Exactly. Yeah. Like finally a first baseman my girlfriend doesn't desire more than me.
I'll be a
That
Tristan
sucks.
Casas guy.
That sucks, T. You know, I feel for you.
Bob's
happens.
dreamy. That's why I'm a Bob guy.
You know, I
Section
mean,
10
I
alum,
can,
great
I
guy.
guess, you know what, T? I'll tell you this right now. I'm obviously not going to drop names, but, and it's, you should be lucky that Bob is a respectable man. He just got married again. We talked about that. Congratulations, Bob.
Congrats, Bob.
But I, in a former life was, in a relationship with a woman who, got a DM from like an A-list celebrity, So I too know what it feels like to be threatened in that regard. Now, Bobby Dalbec, very nice man, very handsome man, but he is a faithful, dedicated man. So he's not like, you should have never viewed him as a threat. Now imagine being me. It's like, oh, I'm dating this person and here comes in the DMs fucking, Jeremy, you're gonna have to believe this. Fucking
I'd kill myself.
Oh
Dude, just
my,
give
are you
up.
serious?
swear to God. Swear to God.
Wow. I would not have guessed.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that's, and then I didn't even fucking care. I was like, fuck him, dude. I'm not going to
Well,
watch his movies
careful.
anymore.
Literally?
I'm not going to watch his movies anymore, but, I'm not threatened.
That's
Talk
'cause you
about
have that
good-looking
huge
guy.
cock,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that comically
Yeah. So
large.
I
penis.
know what it feels like, T. Don't worry about it.
I will say, since I've joined the pod, there were some interesting people that were in Martha's DMs before I was affiliated with Jared
Yeah.
Carabas.
Yeah. That made me, skeptical about posting train. I was like, now like MLB players are going to be like, oh, what's up? But they haven't, to my knowledge.
Like, I don't think so.
I don't think,
I don't know.
nothing. No, I don't know.
D-Train's not like that.
Nah, she would tell me. Yeah, she's an open book. But I've been there, brother. Are you about to sneeze?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a long one.
It's about to morph into a werewolf.
I lost
He's like,
it.
hold on, is it a full moon tonight? Fuck, I forgot.
I felt it. It was on the tip of my tongue.
I thought you were frozen to you.
No.
You just got
Stuck.
frozen in a dab.
Sniff, T, sniff.
Yeah. Yeah. Whiff it.
Thought we're going to get it.
Yeah.
He lost it.
Ooh.
All right. No. All right. What? What, T? Is there
I
something
was just
missing?
going to wonder if we were going to do something along the lines of a final thought.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm like, usually it's like, do we hit all the topics and then you get the? Are you telling me how to
No.
direct?
I was scared you were wrapping up here.
I mean, I am, but I'm like,
I'm
wrapping
just
up,
having
like,
so much
is-
fun. I don't want it to end.
No, it's ending.
It's ended.
Yeah, it's ending. Right
No
now.
final thoughts. Podcast over.
No, we're getting to final thoughts. If
Yeah,
you
we're
shut
getting
the
there.
Fuck up.
Yeah, we're winding down, T. Come on.
You know what, Coley? I'll apologize to you directly. I'm sorry.
Coley? Who the hell's
Coley,
Coley?
sorry.
Hey, Macaulay Culkin. You know what? I apologize.
He deserves
Macaulay.
it. Bigger wrestling fan, Macaulay or Stevie P?
Oh, no one
Oh.
touches Stevie P.
Come on now. I mean, that's my
The-
final
like,
thought.
What's crazy about Stevie P, aka Stevie Turnbuckles, the only time that he wasn't locked in on Monday Night Raw was when he was looking at his phone to be on WWEshop.com. That's the only time it was either TV, buying merch.
It's a big merch. It's a big merch sport.
Yep, it is. Steve?
There was another time that I was not super locked in on what was going on the television.
And
I
you
was
were taking a picture of the WWE title belt.
The perfect picture of the title belt with the, the big night on in the background.
Yeah. He's actually a fan. Like he's one of the biggest fans I know.
I've been a fan, for a long time.
And he's coming over for the Royal Rumble. February 1st. Tyler, I'd invite you, but you'd probably make my girlfriend feel very uncomfortable.
Thank you.
Nah, you can come if you want.
No. Uncomfortable.
No. You can bring Martha.
That makes me uncomfortable.
Why?
You're going to be there.
Okay, and?
You can be respectful?
When have I not been respectful?
I don't know. I feel like since this weird thing that happened between us, I don't know what could happen.
What weird thing happened between us?
Were
you sexually harassed my girl?
I did not sexually harass her.
With a couple goats?
Yeah.
Sexually.
What weird thing happened between us? I didn't do anything. Why
We just
am I
haven't
looped
been the
into
same
this?
since it happened.
Was there something? Wait, I obviously was not on the last one. Was there something other than the goats that I'm missing? Was
No.
it just the goats? Okay.
No, it was just the goats. Yeah.
That was the
I mean,
harassment.
he kept bringing her up. It was.
I did not
He
keep
did.
bringing
Okay.
her up.
He did do that, yeah. Yeah, people have been cooking him on Twitter over it. You'll bounce back, my brother.
I don't think
got
I will.
this. I think you
Hashtag
will.
guarantee.
Yeah.
I do enjoy now that the
Oh.
Twitter audience, whenever I do step out of line, they let me know now. And they're like, Jared would not like this tweet, or this tweet sucks, or eat shit tea. Eat
And
shit tea has become very popular recently.
They're usually right though. Anytime I get tagged and it's like, hey, like people rat you out all the time.
Fast.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, what do you think? Like probably I would say 65% of your Twitter following are Section 10 people.
Definitely.
Yeah. So they're going to rat you out 10 times out of 10 if you step out of line.
I get it.
And they're pretty much right. I don't think I've ever been tagged in a Tyler Milliken tweet being like, this is not really an issue to me. It's always an issue.
I got to say, I do respect it. And they're not just doing it to T. Like, I get it sometimes. I got it today for a maybe questionable tweet where you get tagged. It's the suspension police, basically.
Yeah.
I just thought, like, it just hit me like, oh, that's funny. Red Sox Mets. The tweet kind of sucked. But, yeah, they're out there, dude.
I was thinking of a different tweet. Did you slander Bob today?
No. What?
Oh, okay. All right.
No. he
I'm just
wouldn't do
asking.
that.
When have I slandered Bob? I never.
That's what
slandered
I'm
Bob.
saying. I would have been surprised if you did.
Speaking of T's tweets, shout out the Gammon's full
Oh
name.
yeah.
What was
very
that?
funny.
What
Yeah.
was that?
crazy.
Yeah. Let me pull that up.
Unfortunately,
read
Steve, you weren't here. We did a little Peter Gammons talk last episode. I hope you did not listen to that podcast.
I saw the
There.
tweet and I'm like, what does this mean?
Yeah, from Peter Gammons, it says, if ownership cannot buy into what Bregman can mean to the lineup and the uncertain infield defense behind potentially solid starting pitching, a friend and follower of the boundless enthusiasm of Xers Tyler Milliken and Jared Carrabis asked for positive prospect numbers versus left-handers. TK. I don't know what the fuck that means.
He followed up with the splits, though. And another
But, like,
tweet.
But like,
Dated.
I don't know what that tweet means at all. But I do know that he didn't tag either of us.
No.
Just spell your names
He
out.
didn't tag either of us. I believe he spelt our names correctly.
Mhm.
And
Which is a
like,
stunner, by the way.
yeah, like he's just like, these are my guys. Like when I think Red Sox positivity, I'm thinking Xer, Tyler Milliken.
Xers.
And he led with you. You were the first guy out of the chute. He's like positive Red Sox Xer, Tyler Milliken, and his sidekick, Jared Carrabis.
Xer is easily what annoyed me the most. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, no, you can't be annoyed by that.
Xers? Come on, what
I've
are
been
we doing with
suspended
that?
for that
That's like
recently, but I have no comment.
That's like
Ugh.
calling someone
You
a
want us to
YouTuber.
suspend Gammons?
No. I'm just saying if we're being, consistent here.
It's a
I
bizarre
will say-
tweet. Great job by Jeremy with the out of context reply. That's exactly what this tweet is. It's you, Tyler, just being confused.
I can't believe my beard was that long. I look crazy in that video.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Gammons is very big on the aggregators, picks a lot of them up and kind of just like either retweets or puts his thoughts on top of it. So I think that's why he has any clue who I am. Because
Gammons is locked in. He retweeted Rochi.
Exactly.
Quote tweeted Merloni in her trip to McCoy. So
Yeah,
he's a big guy.
He's a
big
lot
fan of the 10.
more aware.
If Gammon starts calling you T, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah,
it
that's
is-
going to feel personal.
Good tweet, T.
Man.
Yeah.
Him and I'll say the other one, Gordon Eads as well. Ever mentioning me? Gordon Eads was like way too nice, saying like, this kid is like great work on Twitter, yada, yada. Those are the two that have like got me actually excited when I've seen them.
Gordon Eads, huh? Great guy.
Legend.
Dude, Red
Yeah.
Sox Hall of Fame, right?
Been around a long time.
Was he technically like the historian? Was
Team
that the
historian.
Historian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Whatever.
think they like eliminated the role when
They realized it didn't need
COVID.
to happen.
I guess
Didn't need
But
to exist,
it was
really.
part of COVID cuts.
Mm.
Yeah, they're like, oh, Wikipedia's got all this interesting.
Yeah, what? This is all on the internet?
Yeah. T, you got a final thought?
I do. This one is a little bit long-winded, so I'm going to apologize in advance. But MLB Pipeline recently did a survey where they talked to front office execs. The Red Sox got some nice love in it. Roman Anthony voted the number one prospect in the sport. He got 44.9% of votes. Shout out Christian Campbell, got 4.3% of votes. Beyond that, baseball's best hitting prospect, Roman Anthony, won again at 31%. Christian Campbell got 6.7%. Beyond that, yep, that's it for that. And Christian Campbell, there was a little bit of a poll on who's the best prospect you've ever seen. Christian Campbell actually got voted in that. No Roman Anthony, which is, when you're having these conversations, a little weird that, maybe Campbell didn't get a little bit more love in those other polls, but there's someone out there in the front office who thinks Christian Campbell is the greatest prospect of all time. Franklin Arias also got a mention on these lists as well.
Okay. Coley?
Red Sox, I believe, agreed to terms with another international prospect, another highly ranked international prospect, and that makes me wonder if they're done, because there is probably going to be a trade happening. When's Sasaki officially signing talks? Like the 21st or some shit like that?
Yeah, so he'll be picking between, what is it, the 15th and the 23rd, technically, but
Something yeah, the 23rd is
picking
like
during
the
that
last
range
day.
allows teams to trade for more bonus pool money.
Right. So I wouldn't be surprised the Red Sox being that aggressive. Usually they get like one guy in like the top 15 and then another top 50 guy closer to 50. The fact that they've landed two guys near the top, A, tells me they're being aggressive at the right time, knowing other teams are holding money, looking at Sasaki potentially. But B, if they are going to make a trade with the Padres or with the Dodgers or something like that, that could be a nice sneaky move coming in the next 2 weeks to, all right, we got these two guys. We'd rather, instead of signing 50 guys to $1, whatever, however they're manipulating that system. All right, we got our two that we feel good about. These two, they're going to help after we just traded our last two first round picks. We like these two. Here's the rest of our international pool money, but you probably get something substantial for it as opposed to any other time international pool money gets traded. So that's just something to look out for over the next 2 weeks.
Outfielder Harold Rivas. He was number 32 in this class.
Love it.
Steve, you have a final thought?
Yeah, I definitely do. Had some thoughts about Monday Night Raw. Some people wanted me to do a breakdown of what I saw, so I took some notes. I think Roman Reigns leading off was mind-blowing to me. Couldn't believe that he was the first match, and I understand why it's like the first night on Netflix. You got to lead with the head of the table, the original tribal chief. So, like, I get why, they did it, but at the same time, I was a little thrown off by that. Love the kicks he went with, the Kobe 9s. We were talking about that at Jared's place while watching this, and just
Do
the
you see what
fine
he's going to
setup.
do with them?
Yeah, he's going to auction them off for charity.
Yeah,
Because I
Children's
watched the
Hospital.
post game. Yep. Yeah, I care
The
a lot about
post
this
game's
stuff.
so funny for wrestling.
It is, I gotta say, and I've been a fan of this for a long time, but like the post game is maybe better than what happens in the ring.
Correct.
And what happens in the ring is a ton of fun, brother. Paul Heyman, love him. I think every time he's out there, he's electric. Everything he does is great for the sport and just great for Netflix. They won big time having him out there. Knew Punk was gonna win, by the way. The pace of that back and forth, I just knew he was going to end up on top. He took a lot of real blows. This was, obviously this sport's real, but like he took a lot of blows to the head and comes out victorious, which is great. Hulk Hogan, just my God, LVP of the night, by far. That wasn't even close. Like we were booing him from the recliners, so that was hilarious. That's when I got a text from Peralta the Air, Dan Peralta, saying that he was in attendance and said that the boos were even louder in person than they probably sounded.
Funniest
on
comment
Netflix.
of the night was because he came out with Jimmy Hart and waving the flag, and then Hogan's getting the shit booed out of him because he's racist and he votes. He's like a big Trump guy, and they're in California, blue state. And the funniest comment was like, in quotations in Hogan's voice, it was like, "Damn, Jimmy, they hate you out there, brother."
I saw people being like him going to Triple H, like, "You put me too late in the show. That's why they hated it. They want me earlier, brother."
Yeah.
Well, I was saying towards the end there, it's like, let's get out of here, brother. Because he kind of had that vibe to him of like realizing what was going on. It took him a while to catch on, I think.
Couldn't believe it.
Well, then he
beer
goes to
commercial.
selling his beer, and I'm like, dude, this is, come on.
That's why he was out there. He's out there to
Yeah, that was
promote
the
his
whole
beer.
reason he was there.
Yeah.
They
Absolutely
just
ridiculous.
announced that partnership, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
going well.
That's nuts. Last quick thoughts, though. The Rock, to me, is always just my favorite guy at these events. He just doesn't have to really say anything, and his presence is unmatched. And yeah, that was really it. And the Intuit Dome, which is the home of who, Jared?
The Lakers.
The Los Angeles Lakers, the house that Kobe and Shaq built. So and LeBron as well. Yeah. So really happy for the Lakers that they get to host at the Intuit Dome, which is where they play.
Yep. That's right, brother.
Fun night at the Carrabba's pad. That was great.
Oh, yeah,
How do you
it's
think
big time.
Netflix handled it as their first go of it?
Awesome.
Steve?
No, I thought it was good. I honestly, and I get it, you're trying to promote Netflix, but they said Netflix too much. Like it
So
was
often.
the ripping with the Netflix shirt. I'm like, okay, like we're on Netflix. I know it's Netflix. So I don't necessarily know what the benefit is when it's like, yes, I'm here. I've known about this forever. I don't need like promotion of this new
watching Netflix.
new
on
streaming
Netflix.
service called Netflix. Like I get it. I know what it is.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the actual production value I thought was really high. Too many commercials. Way too many commercials. That was blowing my mind. I was kind of hoping we would have no commercials, but
I stepped in it big time because those first commercials hit, and I said commercials on Netflix. This is utter woke nonsense. And then I hit send, and boom, I see the dog pop up, and I said, "No, that's a good commercial right there." So
that's a great one.
commercial. I've
That's a
ever
great
seen.
one.
Terrible timing.
That was the only good one. I think it's going to be a little tricky because now the next one they have is not going to live up to the capabilities that the Intuit Dome has. That place is nuts with like all the screens and all the stuff they have on every seat. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a letdown, but Undertaker was awesome. I mean, it was just a great night. It was a fun night for everybody. And yeah, shout out to Roman Reigns winning once again.
Yeah, what was your favorite match?
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, getting the Olaf all
Every
back.
wrestler in the world made an entrance in that match.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That was good. I mean, Punk was great at the end, but I kind of would have rather let off with Punk and then have Reigns at the end.
That's probably the correct.
They
take.
knew the
A lot of
most
great
people
takes
would
by
be
Steve.
watching at the beginning. It's tough. Like they knew so many people were going to want to see what the intro was, and then they Rock talks about like I'm going to Squid Games on you to Ted Sarandos.
Little long-winded, right? By The Rock. I'm like, come on, we got to.
Let's land the plane.
No, I know.
Dwayne.
I mean, remember when he announced the Rams moving to LA, and he said, "Now it's time to rampede," a thing like just not a word, and no one.
Remember when he introed the Super Bowl? That was like the most random thing ever. He's on the field, like what the hell's going on? Again, love The Rock, but let's just speed up the
he'll
intros.
pop up wherever, whenever, and
Yeah.
the death of kayfabe. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, me neither. I can't get my takes here because I'm actually doing a podcast with Bob Fox tomorrow, so I'm going to save my takes.
Shout out Bob Fox.
Shout out Bob Fox. Great human being.
Bob's the best.
Yeah, from the top rope coming tomorrow. All right. Enjoy the bonus. It's over an hour with this baseball player on Thursday. Over an hour. I guess we could say Red Sox.
Tease real quick.
What?
It's my favorite interview we've all done together since coming back.
Oh, fuck, huh? Yeah.
How about that?
How about it?
Oh, shit.
That's a good one.
Oh, fuck.
I did not expect that.
Boom sauce.
All right, be on the lookout for that baseball player of the Red Sox variety interview on Thursday. My last podcast, as I will be 6 feet under, as they say. Worm food. Mulch.
Slug that drink, T.
Hurry up. I'm drowning.
All right, we'll see you on Thursday. Signing off. Saying, bloop, doop, doop.
Buenas noches, amigos.